podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Hey, Daddy, this a dollar beat.
ThaBoxingvoice.com. No matter what nobody say, man. Spirit, can't nobody fuck with me, man. You know, I can't be fucked with, you know.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
Whether you pay to see me win, or you pay to see me lose, you're gonna pay. Fuck it, the kids still gotta eat. I don't have to watch, you know, any footage of a fighter. I mean, because I'm Floyd Mayweather, everybody gotta watch me. I knew eventually I was gonna have to fight Oscar though. I feel like he was straight up and down, no special effects. ThaBoxingvoice.com. How can Canelo have the biggest deal? Your deal was for $300 million, and I made $350 million just in one fight. And you're fighting on the app. ThaBoxingvoice.com. I'm a king, okay? I eat a feast. But every time I eat a feast. And when I get up from the table, I don't give a fuck who get the leftovers. At the end of the day, follow my green print.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the boxing voice.
Good morning, TBV, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Thursday morning edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. We got two jam-packed guests. I guess that's the wrong synonym there, you know what I mean? Shouldn't I use jam-packed guests? Jam-packed show. We got a jam-packed show, and we got two fantastic guests is the words I should have used. First up, we got Justin Big Tom Biggs. Been telling you guys about him. He's trained by Joel Judah, and he's out of that New York City area, a.k.a. the Brooklyn Torch. Then we will have, who's second on the list? We have, it escapes me. I should have been prepared with the calendar open. But we got Thomas Mattice coming off that Showbox loss. You know, want to give him some shine, bring him back, let him know, look, a loss is a loss is a loss. Doesn't mean that you are now lost in the sauce. We want you back on the show. We want to talk to you, see how you're doing, see what's going on with you. Now, in terms of daily topic, we're back at it again with this Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. And sources are indicating to the Mirror UK, or let me get that actually a little better, because it's more than just the Mirror UK. It's more like Mirror UK something else, right? I don't know. So there's so many mirrors out there. I didn't know anything about that. But this one is Metro. Excuse me, not Mirror. Metro.co.uk. And according to them, Tyson Fury plans to convince Deontay Wilder to step aside from their trilogy fight and take Anthony Joshua next in a unification showdown this year, according to the sources that told Metro.co.uk. So we're going to be discussing this. Is it possible, amidst all this coronavirus, could Team Wilder possibly entertain taking a step aside money for a little bit more time for preparation, being as though we don't even know when this coronavirus is going to end and when boxing is going to fully commence? But this is the topic. Those are the guests. The number is 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype if you are on that daily show level. Head on over to our Patreon page to find out all the details about being a patron and supporting your favorite boxing podcast right here on patreon.com/The Boxing Voice. Let me head on out to New Jersey's own.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynch is the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. Get up, son of a bitch.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
What's going on, everyone? Good morning, man. Yeah, that pot got to be pretty big for the Fury team to give some dough for my man to step aside. I don't even know what's going on with that. Is you scared? Do you have a master plan? What's going on? But before we do that, Marioski.
It's me, Mario.
What is up? What is up, fellas? Yeah, we have a jam-packed show for sure. This topic, it plays in really nice with yesterday's topic, right? They kind of go hand in hand a little bit. But in this case, I guess we're kind of talking about the financial side of everything, and we'll get into the specifics, I guess, as we go. What that means for the Joshua Pulev fight. Whether this is possible. Other incentives that aren't directly financially benefit, like in terms of money and cash. But yeah, we'll chop all that up. Let's get into it.
What up, fellas? So, I guess, what do you think? How possible is this? Look, I know coronavirus is pushing a lot of things back. So they need enough time for proper promotion. But it seems like Bob Arum has indicated that they're preparing for September, October. So this is coming out of left field, but I'll entertain it. I'll play this game.
The cards are set in the right place, kind of. It could happen if they wanted it to.
How so? Why?
It's not like they're gonna be bumping heads with people. Kubrat Pulev is scheduled to fight AJ, but Kubrat Pulev is under Bobby, the Bob father. So it's just about giving them the right money. But how much money do you give for this type of step aside? This ain't no regular step aside. This is like a huge step aside. You know what I'm saying? So the fact is that how much money would be enough for Wilder to say, hey, you know what? I'll let him fight AJ. I'll take more time to do what I got to do. And then, we'll make it happen. Does he risk anything? Does he risk Tyson Fury not coming back and fighting? Obviously, these things would have to be contractual.
Perception. You risk perception.
From the people?
Absolutely. If you take the step aside money, the only perception that it's going to paint in the eyes of the boxing fan.
That's true. But at the end of the day, you got to sit there as a fighter and if something got thrown in the mix as an offer and it suits you best to what you're doing, I think those egos and pride should just be put to the side and, chess should be played. But I'm not saying this is the right move.
I don't think they're playing chess, though, right? And if they are, they're definitely thinking many moves in advance because let's not forget, just a couple of days ago, we reported that Tyson Fury gave up his UK license. Shout out to Mr. 704 in the chat with the reminder of that. So he doesn't have a UK license. He would have to apply for that license and then probably go through that investigation. He also has a contract with Bob Arum and ESPN that states his next 3 fights, or next 2 that are left, are for the USA. Are we saying that this is a USA fight now? Are we saying that this will happen 2020 in this world that they're living in?
No, not at all. Listen, the amount of money that's infused into the fight between Joshua and Fury is so much that these guys are going to pay Fury to get his license. This is that everything goes away. That all goes away. This is way too big a business. You know what I'm saying? I don't, run a big business. I don't really, I've never associated with anybody who has a multi-million-dollar business, but I can guarantee you that in those meetings and when they, perform whatever things they perform, they don't worry about, rules and regulations and stuff like that.
I don't know. Look, you guys are a little more, out there. You're not, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I just can't find a perfect synonym, right? But you guys are have a little more variety in your lives when it comes to entertainment and I guess reading certain materials. So is the UK like a tourist destination? And I know obviously Paris and London and all that is from a I guess a tourist standpoint, like taking pictures and stuff like that. But like, why would celebrities, why would Rocky or LeBron or anybody mainstream fly to the United Kingdom to sit over there where it might rain? To what? Like, this fight does not happen over there. I'm standing firm on that. There's no first of all, there's no money over there. There's no money over there. The money's over here. There's no money over there.
So what fight are you talking about? Anthony Joshua Fury or
Fury Joshua Fury?
Fury Joshua.
It doesn't happen in the UK. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying no. I'm saying no. There's no money
first
over
of all,
there.
celebrities were there for David Haye and Klitschko, by the way. David Haye and Klitschko had celebrities, American celebrities there.
Hey, look, man, this is not just a regular fight. I mean, a fight fan will travel. You think a celebrity with all that money and all that, all that capability.
Bro, let's be real. A lot of these celebrities get pro bonos.
And watch the two UK champs go at it in a fucking stadium that holds 90,000.
I think you need something to entice Americans. And because it's two Brits that they probably don't know, they need to fight in America.
Whoa. You just said nobody knows Tyson Fury? Nobody knows Anthony Joshua? Come on.
Not in
America.
They know Tyson Fury, and we all know that's because of the fight with Wilder. That the tie to the American gave him American exposure. And that's what I'm saying. There's going to be that void with two British dudes. Like, they need something, whether it's an American fighter or an American neutral ground. They need something American to entice us to watch that fight.
I think it's much harder for UK people to have to watch the fight at whatever time we have it on versus us watching it whatever time they have it on. Usually I think like 4 or 5, something like that, for me at least, Central Time. And so I don't know. I just don't see it at all. Like the logistics of everything, what this fight means. I mean, that fight takes over the country, the continent.
The country of the UK?
Like that.
And the surrounding
the UK.
Yeah, the UK.
This happened in the UK. It takes over the entire thing.
Absolutely.
But in the US, honestly, like it's a big time heavyweight boxing fight.
It's a bigger
that doesn't
fight.
mean as much.
No,
that doesn't mean as much in America. So you lose that wow factor that makes this fight so special to begin with.
Does it happen in
the celebrities you're gonna have in the UK are like Pierce Brosnan or something. Like you're not gonna have real. You're not gonna have real.
Thor's brother.
You're not gonna have.
You don't want to see. You don't want to see Thor's brother.
You're not gonna have real celebrities. You're not gonna have real celebrities over there. It's not.
Yeah, you are.
You're not gonna have Spike Lee's.
They did it for David Haye.
Yeah. You keep saying that. Won't you name a celebrity? Give us some social status.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure Sylvester Stallone was there.
Okay.
I'm like,
okay.
Like
whoa.
75,
I just got a crazy.
85%.
Hold on, guys. A crazy idea just came to me. What if this fight doesn't happen in America, doesn't happen in the UK, but it happens in Dubai?
Oh. Dude, as soon as you started
that's a possibility.
I was like, he's gonna say it and throw it into the
that's
air.
a possibility because it's
that way he avoids a suspicion with the BBC. And
well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Remember, the last fight in Saudi Arabia was with the BBC, the British Boxing Board of Control, and an American commission. Remember, they put it together to make all parties happy. And let's not forget, Frank Warren also came out and with a joint statement with Top Rank and MTK Global, and they said that any offers overseas in Saudi Arabia will be entertained by Team Fury and, Bob Arum and Frank Warren together and only by them. So anything you're hearing out there about Eddie and potential fights in Saudi that include Tyson are to be taken with a grain of salt. You should only take any information from Tyson from his 3 parties, which are MTK Global, Frank Warren, and Top Rank. That being said, I'm still holding fast. Fury has an American deal. Saudi's going to have to give up a lot of money, not only to step aside Wilder, but they're going to have to give money to fix Fury's license. Plus, he's gonna have to give money to Bob to be happy letting go of his golden goose.
How does that make Wilder feel?
Think about this before you change subjects. Think about this before you change subjects. Fury was given over $108 million, and he won the Wilder fight. So now they're trying to recoup. They want their money back. They believe. They're like, yo, we believed in you, and thank God Almighty you did it. Give us our money back now. So don't think that he's going anywhere unless they get in a boatload of cash.
Look,
let me
real quick.
I know you've been trying to get
ahead.
real quick, but let me introduce the co-host. I finally got to see him live instead of making him wait.
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to say I saw the fight too.
Stay focused, stay working my jab. Boxing voice.
Because if he comes to fight, then I'm gonna have to look for him.
I saw the fight too.
I think you accurate.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm here live.
Good morning, champ. What up?
Tell me, man, I'm straight off the bed right now. King size, down feathers, all white.
Perfect. Let me interview
out.
you then. Let me interview you. Will you
Go ahead.
fly out to the United Kingdom to see Fury Joshua? Or will you be more prone to see Fury Joshua if both those two dudes were fighting somewhere in America? As an American, is this fight big enough where you're like, yo, I'm so deep in the I know those two dudes. I want to go all the way to their country to watch them fight.
Nah, negative. Off the bat, just thinking about it, I would have to be over there for another reason. It would have to be something really special for me going over there.
You.
I'm a tropical dude, so I'm not going to go somewhere for a fight. I go somewhere. I've been to Vegas, Texas. Yeah, all over New York, obviously. California. But I wouldn't fly to the UK to see a fight. No, but I would pay to view it. It would be something super romantic that I would have to be ready to propose to my girl.
It's going to be free,
while
though.
at it, be the fight. What?
Won't it be free? Let's debate that, though. Like, let's say I'm wrong. This fight happens in the UK somehow. It's free for us, right? Like, we get it on DAZN, we get it on Showtime, we get it on ESPN at 4, 5, 6 o'clock. I mean, we don't pay pay-per-view for this.
Nah, I would watch it on DAZN in a heartbeat. I would watch that fight in a heartbeat, but definitely not flying to UK. I mean, I'm sure a lot of UK people flew here to see Fury, to see Hatton, to see AJ. I'm just not,
that's what I'm saying.
Dudes.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you that
they used
that's
to traveling,
the
man. They used to traveling
in the UK. This is exactly why, because Enrique, who's in the boxing industry, who's closely, connected and a big fan of everything that is boxing, just said that he wouldn't travel for that fight. That it doesn't mean as much as it would mean to the casual, I guess hardcore casual will say it, in the UK. I mean, this fight is going to be known by people that don't watch boxing. It just, there's no way it doesn't happen in the UK to me. I mean, look, I'm not going to say that, but I will say that it would be a shame if it didn't happen.
Right. So
I'm saying if it happens, go ahead, Cash.
I was going to say, I agree if I was like an Eddie Hearn or whoever, Frank, whoever.
Frank, whoever.
To do it in the UK because their arenas are huge. They did that O2 and the Wembley. Them arenas are bigger than Madison Square Garden, the MGM. Those are 20,000 seats more.
Champ, this shit happens if AJ and Fury were to fight here in the States. I see that as so disrespectful.
Right? That's a great point.
Yo,
right.
You took the champ's title and then you came.
That's what Ness doesn't
came
see.
to the States and now y'all fighting for our belts in our country. Like that shit is fucking hard, bro. Like,
it's crazy. Cause you know what? Tyson Fury can't fight in the United Kingdom, right?
Well, as of late,
I seen Ness with his hands up, so he definitely got something to add.
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit of the opposite, a little bit, add some thought-provoking conversation here. He's saying that the UK would be upset. Why not take that as an accomplishment that two of our greatest heavyweights of all time, from the UK, have made it to a stage that has surpassed any other previous UK heavyweight where they had to stay in the confines, in the safety, the luxury of their country. These two gentlemen are so big that their show is on the road for all to see. It's not a spectacle just for the UK. It's on the world stage. And where is the world? In America, not in the UK.
I agree. I just think the UK follows, man. The UK.
Well, that's the thing. UK does follow. America really doesn't travel behind their champs as much as the UK.
And they got those numbers. You think they're gonna say, nah, let's go to the UK? They was gonna pay anyway. Plus the seats are cheaper out there. But at least we know 90,000 to show up. No. Let's go to America, get that $100 pay-per-view money, get those casino site fees, plus make 30 to 40. Look, if Hatton could bring 30 for Mayweather, what the freakers does Tyson and AJ bring combined? Combined. Stop it, Mario. You wrong.
It's huge. It's huge.
You
It's
wrong.
huge. But like, looking at it from like, a cultural type of boxing view, you know what I'm saying? Just looking at it like, damn, we're really gonna sit here and watch, Fury and AJ fight for the titles here in America. I don't think Wilder would step aside with that negotiation being in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
I gotta fight in Britain for that shit.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, see,
what
that's
I'm
like rubbing it in his face. That's a good point. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Look, do me. Watch. I'm rolling up my sleeve.
Bruh, Wilder
Because
can get
I
mad. Numbers don't lie. That's just the bottom line. These dudes got huge fan bases that they're traveling, paying customers. They're gonna purchase hotels, Ubers, flights, alcohol. That's first on the list. They got that in a carry-on bag.
You know what?
UK showed up for Fury, man, many times. So I don't know. It looks like it could be either or, man. But just if to add the pay-per-view
Damn,
on
Mario
top
been
of
trying
it,
to get
United
in, but
States-
now I gotta interrupt everybody. We got our first guest, Justin Big Time Biggs, on the line. What's going on, Justin? Thanks for taking out the time to talk a little bit of boxing with us. How are you?
Of course, man. It's the hottest show around, man. I gotta make time, man. How y'all guys doing?
We're good, man. We appreciate the kind words, but speaking of the hottest, you used to go by the torch, man, so you pretty hot yourself. I wanted to introduce you to our audience. I've been talking a lot about you. I'm hoping you're still with Joel Judah because I've been saying that a lot, but if not, that's also good. But tell us anything new. What's going on with you, man? Update us on everything that is Justin Big Time Briggs.
I was Justin Big Time Biggs. I was going by the Brooklyn Torch, but that's still an alias. I still love Brooklyn. I'm still with Joel Judah. That's for life, man. And I'm just waiting for this whole thing to be over to get back to fighting. And I definitely got some fights in mind and some people that I want to get in there with. So I'm hoping I can make that happen for you guys.
So for those that don't know or haven't seen you fight, just I guess give us a little update on who you are, what got you into this sport.
My father got me into the sport. He passed away 5 years ago now. I'm definitely Zab was very instrumental in my career. I saw him fight, was in the gym with him as a little kid. My brother as well. And I'm a southpaw, 8-0, 6 knockouts. I got my own promotional company now, Big Time Promotions. My business partner, Aaron Freeman. And we're just on the road, just looking for, looking to make our mark on the game. That's really it.
Interesting. So you're no longer with Real Deal Promotions?
No longer with Real Deal Promotions. I stepped out. The company kind of dissolved, so I'm just doing my thing right now. I got my sister's a fighter, signed her, and also another fighter, Brandon Brown. I don't know if you guys probably heard of him, 2-time Golden Glove champion, the brother of Marcus Brown. So we're just moving, looking to do big things, man.
Wow,
Hey, Justin,
so you
Marty
signed
here.
Hold on, I just want to make sure we heard that right. So you signed Marcus Brown's brother.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting,
Yeah,
Mario. Let's let him dive into that because you would figure the brother of Marcus Brown would sign with Al Heyman, not with another up-and-coming prospect fighter. How'd you pull that off?
Me and him always had like really a great relationship, and he definitely had a lot of choices, and he just coming out the amateurs, and I reached out to him and said, hey man, I'm moving. If you want to come move with the team, and we're always looking to work with people like Al. There's always room for people like Al Heyman and everything like that, but we're just moving right now, and we're looking to get him on the card on May 9th, but it looks like everything is kind of upside down right now. But he's rolling with the team.
Hey, Justin, Marty Munguia here. Thank you for joining us today. Real quick, let me ask you, what was the decision to start your own promotional company? Like where did it come from? Like, I mean, I know you kind of just vaguely touched on it, but if maybe you want to open up a little bit more about what that thought process was like, and what brought you to that decision.
Brought me to the decision, man, was really something I always wanted to do from the beginning. I remember having a meeting years ago with a prominent stockbroker. I got the audience with him, and I had this vision. I said, you know what? I believe that with my father, I've been to a lot of meetings about this type of topic, and I realized that everything that a lot of promoters were doing, I would be able to do. And you're never going to be a priority to a promoter that's not your blood or doesn't know you personally. They're never going to believe in you like you believe in yourself. So that was really one of the deciding factors. And then my partner, Aaron Freeman, he reiterated that to me later on. And I was like, you know what, man? Instead of re-signing with a Real Deal.
With us, brother, before this corona, I think it started happening, and you saw your face huge in one of those screens. Like, what was the feeling like, man, looking at that? Like, how surreal was it for you, and all the work that you've put up to up until this point?
Man, it was an amazing feeling. I mean, that's like the pinnacle, man, when it comes to being a fighter. And me and my team are able to do that, at an early stage. And it was just like a prelude. Like, I know that, God willing, I know that I'm going to be here for a very long time. I make my mark on boxing. And if I was able to do it for myself, I'll be able to do it for a lot of the other fighters that I know that are great, that kind of been slipping through the radar, like my sister, Aida Biggs, like Brandon Brown, like my brother coming up, and a lot of other fighters out there that I see, because I know there's a lot of talent out there that's just not being displayed in the proper manner. So it just was just a prelude to what's to come.
It's safe to say that you've come from a boxing family, right?
Yeah, yes.
And for those who don't know out there, you've won Golden Glove tournaments in New York, in Florida. Just to give those out there that want to get to know you more, a little bit of a background, because you made the transition to pro. I don't know if you had many boxing matches in your amateur, but what do you think about the quality of the matches that you had leading up to your transition to a pro?
I won the Florida Golden Gloves twice, the New York State Golden Gloves, and I fought a lot of Junior Olympics a few times as well. I fought a lot of the good names, especially to get my Golden Gloves, make it to the finals, and even when I won, had like a lot of great legendary sparring sessions, I would say, and I beat a lot of people that you guys probably faced a lot of people you guys probably seen on TV that you guys would think highly of. I had 37 amateur fights, but I always grew up around boxing, so I think like every fight to me was like 10 fights that I had. So you guys can do the math. So it feels like I had
It
a
feels like
lot
you
of
had
lot of
150 fights.
I feel like I
Yeah,
have like
that's what I was just
150
trying
fights.
to get to, because a lot of the times you make this transition and some people feel like you made a move too quick, others feel like you're ready, but you give the audience an understanding, I guess, of why you made that transition and why you feel like you were ready. And thank you.
Thank you.
So, Justin, obviously, COVID-19 kind of put a little bit of a halt on any plans you might have had. But can you share those with us? What were you looking forward to in 2020? What were you planning on giving, I guess, the Justin Big fans?
Oh yeah, definitely. We had still have it. We have a tentative date on Showtime, so a lot of people can see me on the big stage. I'm working on grabbing one of the WBC titles. We're working on that, and also, man, I'm trying to get in this guy Cletus Selden. I don't know if you guys know. He fought Zab, and he cheated. He's still fighting, so I'm hoping to get him in the ring this year. I would love to. Since he's fighting, we might as well do it.
Aren't you at 54 though?
Family. Yeah, we could do it at 47.
What? You could get down?
At 50. Yeah, we could do it. We could do for that. I can. For that I can. We could do 50, 47. We could do something like that.
So it's personal for you.
Yeah, it's very personal. It's a very personal.
Give the people some backstory
thing.
Because obviously I know and I remember, but they might be like, "Yo, what is he talking about? Why is he mentioning Zab? Why Why do you feel you need to avenge this fight versus Cletus Selden for Zab Judah?"
Brooklyn.
It's not even like Zab. Zab went into a fight, and then Cletus was using banned substances, and things are supposed to be made right by the law, but it wasn't. This is how boxing gets down, and he ended up being in the hospital. And within the fight, there was a lot of elbows. So I was there live, and if someone loses, even though I love them, if it's my brother, my sister, I'm always I'm not sour about it because this is the game. But come to find out, Zab went to hospital that night, and then went back into hospital and almost lost his life. And it was in a coma for a few days, and we find out that he's using illegal substances. And a lot of people, his own, that came out and said, yeah, he is doing it. So he went and fought a little while ago. He had his win. Congratulations. But I'm like, no better place to do this than the Chamber of Truth. I think it's a good fight. I think people would like to see it. He has a lot of experience, but I still think that I stop him in 5-6 rounds. And if it doesn't get stopped, I think that he's gonna know what it's like to be helpless, and he's gonna get punished. That's what I know.
Damn, champ, that's what's up. Wow. Yeah, that would be kind of cool to see. That promotion would definitely promote itself. But I really want to talk to you about Yoel Judah and what y'all's relationship is like.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned him earlier a little bit. I mean, I can tell y'all are close. But what's that relationship like, both in and outside of the gym?
He's been in my life since I can remember. Him and my father. They ran with each other, in the boxing world. I was right there during the heights of Zab's career when he was on billboards all around here in New York. And Yoel was nice enough to have us around and to let me see that life. So when I grew up, I was thinking, I'm going to grow up and become a fighter and fight on HBO and Showtime and do all these great things. That was life to me, to the point that him and Zab were just like people in school talking about, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I was talking about Zab. And when my father passed, he definitely is a father figure to me. And, Zab is a big brother. So, they're just family, like inside of boxing and outside of boxing.
Justin, I'm taking a look at the BoxRec. I just want to make sure BoxRec is not making a mistake here, man. Because how many?
You looking at his amateur box, right?
Is that what? Okay. Thank you, Ness. All right. Well, go ahead and slide in, Ness.
Yeah, no problem. I got a few questions from the people. First one coming from the United Kingdom. George Foster says, how many fights do you want to have before challenging the top 10 in your division?
However many it takes. I would like to do it within 15 fights. I would do it within 12. I would do it now. It's just it's whatever's available to me, really. I've always had to move fast, so it never really mattered, and I don't see myself beneath any of the top people that are doing that at an early stage.
How long have you been training with Scooter, strength and conditioning coach?
Scooter, actually, you know what? I have not got my first session in with Scooter. Scooter is one of those family friends. So by the time I got to him, he hooked me up with a good a physical therapy place around the way, and I went and checked out his facility, and I was like, all right, Scooter, so when we gonna work? He was like, Biggs, I'm just so packed right now, man. And he really is. Like, you go in there, Scooter got everybody, man. Like from a bunch of great young and up and coming fighters, the ones that you see on TV now. Everybody from LL Cool J to Clarissa Shields, he got in there. So me and Scooter, hopefully things slow down now, with the virus, so I can get in there with him. But Scooter's great, amazing. He's like he invented strength and conditioning, kind of. That's how long Scooter's been out.
Definitely. All right, we got a few more here. We got. Sorry about the pause. Just letting the page refresh. Don't want to leave anybody out.
Crazy, because just real quick, the reason I was looking at the amp background, Justin, you fought Nikita Abiabi in the amateurs, didn't you?
Yeah.
Abiali. Oh wow! And what weight was that at?
Yeah, Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah. I fought him at 165.
165.
Yeah, I fought him at 165. Mm-hmm.
And was that at a tournament, a show?
Golden Glove Finals.
Oh, the Golden Gloves Finals. All right.
Yeah, we fought in the last true Golden Gloves. So it was the 96 Golden Gloves we fought in 2017. Yeah, he a great fighter. Nikita's a dope fighter. Everything you guys see on TV is true about him. Amazing fighter.
He trying to move to 47. You think he gonna make it?
Oh, Nikita?
Yep.
I don't know, man. I don't know. When I fought him, he was kind of he was big. When I was fighting at 65, I was coming in at 58. I won that year in the Golden Gloves when me and him had fought. But I mean, look, he'd be a real problem at 147. He definitely has the speed. He's one of the fastest guys I've been there with. So he could do it. I mean, he got his diet.
All right. We got Joe Swaybook Sale says, how do you see Leo Santa Cruz versus Tank Davis playing out?
I like Tank. I think Tank is explosive and great. Leo he's throwing 100 punches around or something close to it. It's just a fight where we're gonna see how great Leo can take a punch. But Tank has to be focused. I believe more focused than in the fight with Gamboa, because this kid, if he gets tired, this guy's not gonna stop punching, and I don't think he can knock Tank out, but he definitely will outpunch him, and he'll be able to exploit stamina issues. If Tank does have those issues, so he has to be very, very focused in that fight, or he could lose on points. But I think Tank hits him with a shot in between his gloves while his hands are up, and he hurts him and finishes him.
Next one is from Trey. He says, who do you got? Keith One Hand Thurman versus Bud Crawford.
I think I'm gonna go with with Bud. I think Bud is really the best fighter in the world right now. He's showing me a lot. I mean, even in his last fight with the Mean Machine, I could tell he didn't want to really fight him. But see, the guys that he's beating are guys that are really A-class fighters and have extensive amateur backgrounds, and he is doing what he wants with them. And like, I didn't think that he was going to knock out Benavidez, that guy. He's a very, very tough fighter. Imagine Benavidez fighting Spence or Thurman or anybody in the weight division. I don't think they knock him out. And when Bud knocked him out, when Buck knocked out Mean Machine, guys like Felix Diaz he plays with, the Hank Lundys and the I think Batiste, when he knocks out guys like that are tough, that is hard to get up for, it just lets you know his dedication to the game and how vicious he is, and he gets the job done every time. So I'm gonna have to go with.
I love it.
I think that.
Yo, you know what? I was almost waiting for you to finish to be like, yo, what is you talking about? But I heard what you said. You said it's hard for him to knock out these guys that he can't get up for. Cause I mean, I'm not as impressed with the resume as you, but I love the way you worded it. Like, I could see an elite level fighter losing focus, kind of like AJ Ruiz, because he couldn't get up for Ruiz. And you're right, Crawford doesn't do that. You're right. He doesn't slip up.
Douglas.
He comes into the ring prepared for every fight.
Exactly.
Way to answer that, champ. We got Intrigue the Incredible in Atlanta says, here at TBV, we have a group of fans that worship Terrence Milk Bud Crawford. And we would like for you to help us pick out a name for their little fan club that would possibly get the attention of Milk Bud. Which name do you like best? The Bud Scouts, the Milk Buds, or the Bud Tenders? And last but not least, the Bud Lights.
The Bud Lights.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna go with Bud Lights because they must be drinking. No offense, guys, but I mean, it's clearly to me that I know the resume is not it's guys that would beat champions, but he stops them from being, just like when Roy Jones was demolishing everybody. Those guys would have been something if they did not run into Roy Jones. And when I look at Terrence and the domination at 140 and the way that he does things, and I look at all the other fighters around his weight class that were like, oh, Lomachenko's above him, oh, Canelo's above him. Those fights that he had, I would rather have. I think Spencer is great. I think Thurman is great. I'd rather have their career than Bud's career, because those fights that he's taking are very tough fights. Any one of those guys can make you look bad. I mean, I've been in there with Lamont Peterson, amazing fighter, and they fought a lot of the same guys. And those are closer fights for Lamont because those guys are tough guys. It's hard to get up for, and you're looking for a big fight. And these guys are coming in there fighting for their life with crazy amateur experience, weird, awkward styles, and he's fought more diverse styles than his contemporaries, the guys that are around his weight class, and he's knocking them out. So that's why the post-all, the people post-all just broke Mattice's face, and he came in and outboxed post-all. I thought it was gonna be a hard fight. It wasn't. And he's been beating guys like that consistently who have wins over top guys. This is not like when you saw when Ryan Garcia fought, which is a great fighter. He fought that last kid, Fonseca. Knocked him out. Knocked him out in the first round. Fonseca was known for going the distance with Tevin Farmer, and going and having a tough fight with Tank Davis. And they thought Tank didn't look that great. Garcia came in there, clipped him. Now the guys he's fighting not only were in the ring with tough fights with people, but they actually kind of beat these guys or stopped them. And then he comes and annihilates them in the fashion that Ryan Garcia did. So that's how I look at it. I'm like, you know what, this guy is the best, and I just hope that age doesn't catch up with him by the time he gets one of these big guys. I'm telling you, he's going to go in there, he's going to walk through one of these guys.
Well, the last question, and I guess the one to be the cherry on top of this subject, Terrence Bud Crawford versus Earl Spence. Who you got and why?
All right. I love both of these guys. Incredible fighters. Now, Errol Spence can win the fight. He definitely can, but his keys to victory are pushing him back with a double jab, catching turns, pulling back with something, get him on the ropes, and going to the body. I feel like he will not be able to land his body punches on Terence Crawford. I feel like Terence Crawford will be angled up in a great fashion. I believe that Terence Crawford is better in the middle of the ring, so the fight will take place in the middle of the ring. I believe that the right hand of Terence Crawford will play a big factor, and I believe he'll bring the left hook back and continue to step around. So he'll like kind of like what what's this guy's name? Kell Brook did, but I believe that he'll be able to hold and tie up Errol Spence really well, and he'll punch back. The only thing that he has to worry about is the pulling out on punches. If he pulls out on punches, Errol can't catch him with something. But the thing about Errol Spence is that his strength is not really counter-punching. His strength is the body punching and letting your hands come down and catching you with the left hand, right hook on the ropes, and finishing you on the ropes. That's usually where his knockouts take place. He's not really a counter-puncher kind of guy. So for somebody that's fleet-footed is in the middle of the ring and boxing him with that kind of ability and that kind of mental fortitude, because he is going to get hit with a body shot. But I don't feel like a body shot cripples Terence Crawford and makes him stay there, lock up, and get hit with combinations. So I have to, with that fight right now, I probably would lean towards Terence Crawford, even though Errol Spence is a very special fighter, but I have to lean. And I also noticed that Terence Crawford has a wrestling background. A lot of these fighters that are able to get bullied, they're not very strong physically. But Terence Crawford, I believe, is physically strong, and he makes me believe that when I see him fight the John Molinas and other people that are kind of bully fighters, they're not able to push him back.
Damn, that's an interesting perspective right there. Good breakdown, man. Nessa, was there another one from the people?
No, actually, that is it. Justin, just wanted to once again say thank you for taking out the time to come on the show. And if you could give out any social media, please do. And obviously, keep us updated, man. Little DM as soon as you find out when and where you're going to fight so we can have you back on to announce it to the people.
Definitely, guys. Definitely. Thank you for having me on the hottest podcast around, man. I love what you guys are doing for the sports. I love your analysis. I love that you calling fighters up and giving them a platform. Without you guys, boxing's not always covered correctly on some of the biggest platforms like ESPN and other things like that. But you guys allow us to do that, and you're putting a lot of hard work into it. You guys can follow me on Instagram at BigTimeBiggs. Check me out. I have my updates there, and I'll definitely be back on to let you guys know what we got going on. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you for calling in, Justin. We appreciate you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Up-and-coming prospect contender Justin Big Time Briggs. Can't wait to see. I wish we probably should have got a little bit more detail, because he did name drop Showtime as his next fight, which is impressive, he's his own promoter, so how'd he finagle that deal to get on Showtime? That was something that kind of slipped past us, but we should be having Thomas Gunnerman Mattice in a few. Sent them the text, so we will be having Mr. Thomas Mattice. He was just on Showbox himself. Suffered a loss, unfortunately. Cruz did get the upset, but, one loss doesn't define a man's career, and we still wanted to get him back on the show just to talk some boxing. See, did he watch that fight? What did he learn from that fight? And what did we learn from history? And I think history teaches us that America is the big fights and the big bucks, and that's where the big fights take place. And that's why Eddie's gonna make this fight in America with Bob.
No, I disagree with that. But real quick, the 2 minutes before we have Thomas on, let me talk to an audience of one. Let me talk to you, Deontay, because I know you're out there. I know you're listening. Okay. Oyes, mijo. Listen very carefully. Take the cash. Take it. Take it right now. Not because you need it. not because you're scared, because we all know that's not true. But you want this to happen. You want these two to knock each other off. Best case scenario, what happens? You come back, you beat Fury, and then you still got the AJ thing to deal with, right? And everybody's saying, oh, well, he's not better than AJ, right? You let these dudes knock each other off, and then you fight Fury again because he's going to beat Wilder. He's going to beat Joshua. Guess what? You're in a situation where you fight for all the prize, all the chips, everything is there for the taking. If you couldn't get up for that fight, mijo, you're done. You're done. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at this not as a bitch move or a shot at your pride or anything like that. This isn't a greedy move, nothing. This is a move that's for us, because I know you've been listening. You know these guys don't want to see the third fight right now. I don't even think you want to see the third fight right now. You want Fury and Joshua to fight, to duke it out, to get all the spotlight, so that when your fight with Fury comes, it's for all the marbles. It's for everything on the line. So listen, they say I'm not a fan of yours. If I wasn't a fan, I would have been giving you this blueprint. Okay? Follow this blueprint. Do as I say, and you will be okay. I promise you. All right? Your number one fan signing off.
Wario.
Damn. That was a message to Wilder.
That was a message to Mijo.
You said
Mijo.
Who's Mijo?
Mijo.
Mario trying to get killed. He trying to have Wilder jab the shit out of. He calling him Mijo.
Listen, regardless, the fight is for all the marbles, man. That fight, Tyson Fury versus Wilder 2, was televised.
Well, let me give you some facts, Enrique. Not cutting you off, so you pick up right behind me. Just so you know, Bob Arum did tell me live on this show that if Wilder did take step-aside money, they would put it in the contract that he gets to fight the winner. The only issue I have with what he said is unless Eddie and AJ are on board with that contract and sign that contract as well, you can't really guarantee Wilder the winner. You can guarantee Wilder Fury if Fury wins, but you can't really guarantee Wilder AJ unless that verbiage is in the contract. But I just wanted you to know that Bob did at least say that, because people might think like, yo, but take a step aside money. What if AJ wins? What if Fury wins? How are they gonna guarantee that fight? The guarantee is allegedly in the contract. If he takes it, Bob's even called me stupid. He's like, what are you, stupid? Of course we'll put it in the contract. But I wanted to make sure he said it would be in contract.
Right, that's what he had to say. But to avenge a loss is sweeter than a freaking step aside fight money winner. So I still would say that the Fury 2 for Wilder is still for all the marbles. That fight was huge. They what's the numbers? Is the number huge, bigger than any AJ fight? A Fury fight?
What is what bigger? I mean,
the Fury 2 fight, the Fury AJ 2. I'm sorry, the Wilder versus Fury 2 fight was. What were the final numbers on that?
In terms of pay-per-view buys, anywhere from 750.
In terms of viewership, in terms of
750,000 pay-per-views to 850,000 pay-per-view buys.
Who's the 850,000? That's the fight, or you saying compared to?
No, that's the fight. It came in from 750, like headline said, 750 to 850,
and it jumped to 850. So what was AJ's biggest number?
He never did an American pay-per-view. AJ's irrelevant in this conversation, except for the fact that that's who they want to unify with. He's not a player in America just yet. When he came to America, he shit in his pants.
He just
by comparison to UK, he's a monster all by himself.
You can't compare UK.
I'm not trying to compare.
Wilder Fury. How much did you pay for Wilder Fury 2?
I don't remember. I just clicked buy.
I think it was $80.
You ain't even care. You're like, yo, I want that.
$80. $80.
Yeah, $80.
I think it was $80.
And what? And UK pay-per-view is what? $20 or $25?
20-25, right?
20. It depends on who. They usually raise the price $5. So if it's 20, one Wilder Fury pay-per-view is 4, UK pay-per-views. So that's another major reason why this fight happens in America, because they just get more money. They get more money.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah.
Plain.
No, I'm not even trying to say, obviously it was like the biggest fight of, the recent history, recent era of heavyweights. I'm just saying that, like, I'm not even saying it because you're right. It's not comparable.
And I know, and another thing I just want to address, I know Mario speaks for all the fans when he speaks by saying, I know you don't want to see this fight.
He speaks for all his fans in his mind.
I actually disagree, because I do prefer to see that fight first, because I want to see the vengeance of Deontay Wilder in that third fight.
All right, but again, this is directed to Enrique. With that same logic, keep in mind that there's a faction of fans out there that are like, what revenge? This is the second fight.
What do you mean this is the second fight?
You said you want to see the vengeance, but this was supposed to be the revenge.
Yeah, it would be the third fight.
It was supposed to be Fury's revenge, and he got it, so now we got to
how was this supposed to be Fury's revenge? Ended in draw, and the public thought Wilder lost. Wilder thought he should have won by knockout, and that's what the second fight was for.
I think the word Cash is trying to use is redemption.
I was using a vengeance.
Oh, I'm telling you, this ain't a vengeance. This is redemption, bro. Well, he got his ass whooped. And plain Jane, glove gate or not, he got his ass kicked. He has to come back for redemption, bro. He has to redeem and let everybody know that was a motherfucking mistake. You know what I'm saying? He got to go back in there and redeem himself, man. Ain't no vengeance. Like Ness said, the avengement was from the first fight. I got this draw. It wasn't a loss. But he considered it a loss. And so
a lot of people argued the knockdown, and the two of them at that were part of the draw.
Well, look, at the end of the day,
bro, but the knockdown is in the first fight. You can't keep bringing that shit up. Like, that's old news.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the second fight and the vengeance. And I think it's sweeter than seeing a fresh new chapter.
I just don't get. I mean, look, I get it. I get it.
Ending a draw.
I get it because it's a contract. But honestly, if I'm in the back, I'm in the park playing ball, right? And somebody calls next, we check it up. I shit on them. Feel me? Ain't nobody really there. There's a couple other people there. Some people sitting on the bench. They still tying their sneakers. Bro, let's run it back. Cool. You know what I'm saying? I shit on you again. Like, what vengeance you need, bro? Like, it's over. Go sit on the bench and,
I love that analogy.
I play the next dude, then you get in. But there's a contract. It ain't like that. And it ain't go down like that either, right? So the first game, if we're using basketball, somehow ended in a draw. Somehow the park that I went to has a stop clock and a clock, so, we only played a certain amount limit game. And it ended in a draw, and that's why we had to have the rematch, and that's what I'm saying. It just, look, at this point, we in contract land. We can't keep saying vengeance, redemption. All that was supposed to happen February 28th. Like, that was the date.
Look, I agree with you, but then there's the argument that, Wilder should have won because that knockout, that knockdown.
Bruh, you still talking about the first fight, bruh.
That's what the argument was that made the second fight.
But that's what I'm saying.
But you used the word whipped his ass. He got his ass whipped in the
No,
first
I used
fight.
the word whipped his ass in basketball. Different thing.
But you was using it as an analogy, which is like, but that didn't happen to Wilder. He didn't get his ass whooped in the first fight.
I ain't say that. He got outclassed a lot in the first fight, though. That's the thing. He got outclassed in the first fight. He felt he won via knockout. People was like, bruh, he got up and beat you 10 out of 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see it like that. I gave Wilder like 4 rounds plus 2 knockdowns. You know what I mean?
All right, well, I'd rather adhere to the contract and see the third fight versus him so that he could overcome that loss or the questions from the first fight as well versus a freaking new chapter in AJ versus Fury.
Nah,
I mean, in a perfect world, man, in a perfect world, it would make sense, you know what I'm saying, for him to like kind of just take the step aside money and push the fight a little further. But with this Corona thing going on, we don't know how far this fight can be pushed anyway. Like, how long do you sit on the sidelines and not fight? You understand? That's another thing they got to take into consideration, because if he sits out for too long and you got Fury that's been really active, that kind of goes against you a bit in the fight game.
See, and I was good with Fury Wilder first, and I mean I'm still good. It's still an amazing fight. I'm not complaining. Like, I don't want to sound like a spoiled boxing fan, but the whole thing is with this coronavirus, it's going to take even longer, and it's kind of like, yeah, like the more I have to wait,
But
the
that's
more
the
I'd
AJ
rather just
plan
have
anyway.
Joshua and Fury happen.
That's
We got to wait for that too, though, because UK is shut down. It's not like
Of
UK
course.
is a free world.
Of course, but what I'm saying
and
is that
UK's they're in a worse position than us, from what I've been seeing.
But you're missing the point. The point is that by the time we get to a unified champion, like we're talking 3-4 years from now, possibly. Like, that's crazy. Wouldn't it be better to unify the champion now, or as quickly as possible?
2021.
And then, bro, listen, that's great.
Worst
That's
case
great.
scenario, right? Worst case scenario, no unification. This is all fake news. Wilder Fury happens. We get a definitive winner by the end of this year or the beginning of next year. Then you got all of the end of next year to get it done. You understand what I'm saying? So regardless if Wilder Fury takes place in 2020 end, fall, like they're speculating, or February again, 2021, AJ Wilder Fury winner can happen again the way they want in September 2021.
Okay, under your statement, yeah, of course, I'm okay with that. That's fine. But that's you're thinking best case scenario. Like, we're living in a world right now where it feels like everything's being taken from us every day, more and more, and we're gonna have to wait longer and longer and longer. And this just adds another thing to that list. You know what I'm saying? Another thing to
Marination,
be
baby.
upset about.
Marination, baby.
He said marination.
Yo, this fight got top rank in
This
it.
ain't Wama and Gamboa, bro. This is legit, ready to go. This is sizzling. All right, that smoke's gonna eat up your house, and it's gonna set them fire alarms off.
Honestly, no. There's no indication that Fury AJ is sizzling. That this fight is ready, bro. We've done dozens upon dozens of shows on Wilder Fury, Wilder AJ. Very few combinations of Fury AJ. Very few.
But that's for
that
a
has
reason,
to start.
though.
No, because it never built. It's got to start building.
No.
The reason was.
Listen, hold on. Let me finish this statement. Let me finish it. I'm going to give you some facts as to why. The only piece of evidence that I have is obviously Tyson never being interested in AJ. Instead, traveling to America, getting inside the ring. You know, meanwhile, the other belts were where were they? He went into the ring with Wilder. He had his mind on Wilder, not on his, countryman AJ. It's never been on AJ. It was on Vlad. His attention was on Vlad. His attention was on Wilder. It's never been AJ. It's got a bubble now.
But our attention to Fury, plain and simple, wasn't on that level until the Wilder fight. And at that point, he was locked into a contract. So there was no need to talk Joshua Fury. But you don't think we all wanted Joshua Fury? You're crazy. Like, that fight has been
right.
Sizzling.
Hold on. Again, you speaking for the fans that are Fury fans after the fact, because there was a lot of boxing fans. I'm talking about that too. There's a lot of disbelief in Fury until this point. So yeah, it has to grow at this moment. So it's a disruption hearing Bob Arum say, yo, Wilder should step aside money. He's trying to disrupt it. He's trying to say, okay, we can make more money with AJ versus Wilder. We probably likely beat AJ. We don't know about Wilder,
Yo, so here's some more facts. Wilder Joshua # 5,000 plus on Insta. Fury Joshua only 1,000. Wilder Fury 55,000. So again, believe me when I tell you, there's no buzz on that, man. And that's just one.
It's fresh.
That's
It's
just
fresh.
one of the
That's
major.
why.
That's
It
only
is
one of
fresh.
the. That's only one of the major platforms. Go to
That's
Twitter.
the best word to use. That's the best word to use. That it's a little more fresh. Look, at the end of the day, a unified champion is all you need. to build a fight at this point between those two names. Okay. And here's the other thing you're forgetting. The Joshua star power outranks both men globally and outside of the sport. So any fight with Joshua is already a monster fight. Wilder should have been fought him. And I'm not trying to say that this is like a punishment or anything like that. All I'm saying is that we've arrived to the point where we know who's better between Deontay Wilder and Fury. That doesn't mean that Wilder loses because, this is the highest level of sports and anything is possible. Football, basketball, upsets happen all the time. But at this point, we know who's better. Fury's better. So he moves on, and the only person waiting in the wings is Joshua. That's it. And to come back to a fight that means so much to a lot of you, and me too, boxing fans in general, Wilder Fury 3, after we've seen Wilder again, after we know that he's okay, and that he can still perform at the highest level, that makes the fight even better. At this point, all the question marks, all the doubt that would go into that fight, if you were really are a Wilder fan,
sport and
what's it called? The doctors, like, what's it called?
What you say it again?
Like in the army, when they go to the doctor, it's called something, right?
The corpsman.
Or you don't come out, you don't send the guys and the girls with the busted legs to go into war. And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that Wilder's got a busted leg. I'm trying to say is that everybody's going to assume certain things about him because of the last fight.
My thing is this: wouldn't Fury and AJ look at it like, man, fuck that. Go ahead and handle Wilder first, because if we don't, we just setting him up for an even bigger payday coming off a loss. Let's just be realistic. He's not going to get the same amount of money that he was going to get in the Fury rematch if he's facing the unified champion and he had a contract. So he's going to get more money to face the winner of Fury AJ. And, is Fury AJ thinking that that's cool, that he gets to, sit back and wait and make boatloads of cash?
If Hearn thinks that it's enough money in the pot, they'll make it. And from what his quotes and what he's been saying in the media, he feels as though there's enough money in the pot for them to pay him aside money, and nobody get angry. You know what I'm saying? Nobody be upset that there's plenty of money in that fight. It's so huge that they can do that. So the feeling is coming from the promoter like it's not a bad idea.
Manny Pacquiao lost twice or maybe 4 times before he fought Floyd Mayweather. I think that AJ's confidence would be bigger if, let's just be hypothetical here, Fury were to defeat him a 3rd time, and then Fury goes on to fight AJ, and then I think there is still some way that Wilder could reclaim his name and fame to fight AJ in the beginning. All over again as a super fight. No? Nobody agree?
Look, I guess whatever route they take is going to be the best route.
The only route I want to see is the 3rd fight.
Oh,
you don't want the step aside.
Nah,
I don't want the step aside.
No, he don't want the step aside. I don't get it, man. I really don't.
Warriors doing that. I don't see a warrior saying, "Give me the step aside." I think the guy Wilder wanted to land.
Man.
Nah, Enrique makes a good point because we held AJ to that standard. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to just, take off and relax, or is he going to come back like the champ he is and take the fight right away? And AJ took the fight right away. So that's huge in the eyes of the fans in my view, because
But that's where George comes into play. That's where you got to get a mentor that has him swallow the pride.
Right, man.
See, that's the difference. That's the difference between me and the rest of y'all. Is that I get what you're saying. I do. We held AJ to this standard, but the thing to me was that when he lost to Ruiz, that said way more than Wilder losing to Fury. Wilder lost to who is arguably the best heavyweight right now,
Yes.
and possibly of our generation. Okay,
Well,
so
the question-
that doesn't diminish him. Being second place doesn't matter. And by the way, we still haven't figured out second place, and that's a very important thing to figure out. So you know,
but that's how
it doesn't mean
you
as much
figure it
to me
out.
that Wilder lost. He lost to the best. You know, we didn't hold it against Canelo when he lost to Mayweather. We didn't hold it against certain guys when they lost to Mayweather or Pacquiao. I mean, their careers not only survived, they thrived because they were fighting the best, and we recognize that. In this situation, a lot of people don't see it that way because we don't have a unified champion, because these guys haven't beaten everybody. Once that happens, we understand fully what this win meant for Fury and what this loss meant for Wilder, and it didn't mean what everybody thinks it means. I mean, there are people that call in and say, "Oh, Wilder's a bum now because he lost to the best heavyweight."
No, because
come
that's
on,
what they
crazy.
wanted. That's what they needed him to have the loss to justify all the other trolling. That's all it is.
Right.
But I agree with you from that standpoint, but I also disagree in the sense that, look, it's better for Wilder to go ahead and face Fury so we can eliminate one. Because it's like you said, he's the number one heavyweight, but who's number two? How do you find out number two? You don't find out who's number two by Fury facing AJ, because now AJ got to fight Wilder to see who's the better out of those two. You know what I mean?
No, we still have to figure out number one. Arguably,
Bruh,
Fury's
Tyson
the number
Fury
one. He's
is
number
number
one to
one.
me.
Tyson
No,
Fury is number one.
You're
Tyson
absolutely
Fury is
right.
number one. That's not arguable.
But until AJ is knocked off the tree, there cannot be a definitive answer
Mario.
on that.
Brother,
Mario,
you
can't.
lost. Let me get to Thomas Mattice, Gunner Man. Thomas Mattice, he's live on the line. Good morning, Thomas. Thank you for taking out the time to come on the show. How are you? What's going on, champ?
What's going on? I'm great. How you doing?
Oh, man, we're happy to have you, man. Obviously, we all caught your last fight on Showbox. You weren't able to get the win, but losses don't define a fighter, and they definitely don't end the career. So we wanted to get you on just to see where your mindset is at after that fight.
My mindset great. You know, I'm chilling. Actually, I got this appointment with this doctor. Here, I'm getting a surgery on Monday. So, you know, I had hurt my hand in the second round. I ain't make no excuses though. You know, I fought, and I just came short.
So you don't know what it is yet? You haven't got a diagnosis? Is it a fracture? Is it a tear? Is it fully broken?
Yeah, well, it's a small fracture. They say I got like a broken bone that's broke off into a muscle. So that's what, like, when I hit, that's what make my hand go out. So they said, they told me I gotta get a small surgery, but they just saying with this virus stuff going on, I might not be able to get it right now. I know for sure when I go to the doctor on Monday.
So take me back to the beginning, man. Where did it start for you, and why did you choose boxing?
Where it start? I mean, it just came from, growing up, in the inner city, fighting and all that
Which
stuff.
inner
and I
city?
happened to know a couple cats like Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I knew a couple homies that was always boxing, and they always seen me, into it, and they just told me I knew how to fight for me not to be a boxer or whatnot. And I never thought about a boxing. I still was brushing them off like, man, I'm not about to box. And then what happened was, it's when it was 2007. That's when I started. I was 17. I had seen Floyd on MTV Crib. And I was thinking like, dang, he getting all this from boxing. And that following day, I went to the gym, and I've been in the gym since. But, yeah.
Hey, Thomas, Mario Munguia here. Thanks for joining us. Listen, I want to ask you this, and if you don't want to answer it, or if this is like too personal, that's fine. But I really, really enjoyed your last fight on Showbox. I thought it was a really, really great fight. It was a close fight. Is it tougher to lose a fight like that where it's like close and you had it just in your grasp? Or is it tougher to accept defeat, when it's, not as close? I mean, you've had pretty close losses, but I'm just kind of, if you can use generalization, like, what do you think is tougher for you? Was it easier to swallow it because of your performance?
Well, honestly, I ain't gonna say it was either swallow to my performance. It's easy for swallow because people that actually know me and been around me know I'm way better than that. And honestly, dude shouldn't have really made it out the third round. The world ain't really seen me yet. But like I said, and I don't make no excuses. Like I said, I've been fighting with this injured hand since I turned pro. So, it's finally I say, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the doctor and I'm gonna get the hand situated. And, a lot of people don't know that I'm really left-handed and I fight in an orthodox stance, so they really think I'm right-handed, but I'm left-handed. So once that left hand went out, it kind of make it hard. But you know, like I said, you got to adjust as the fighter. So I ain't make no excuses. I ain't go to the end. I ain't go out the fight and say, "Oh, my hand, this, that." You know, I told my corner the second round, like, "Hey, I injured my hand," and they're like, "All right, you know, just that." And we made slight adjustments. We just picked it up kind of too slow with the adjustments, and we came short. But
now,
it was easy.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting. Miguel Cotto does the same thing. He's left-handed and he fights orthodox. Now, I don't know if you had a chance to go back and listen to the commentators. They
That's
talked
like
about
my body shot.
a lot. You did?
I said that's why you be stealing my body shots. See, the world don't know it, but like I got
yes.
old fights, all my fights leading up until all my knockouts is body shots. I never knocked nobody out for nothing else. I said I got one shot that's probably not everything else is body shots. But just like dude, I hit him with the body shot. He was through. Only reason I saved him when I hit him, I hurt my hand. I was waiting for my hand to recover, so that's why I was really just patting him with the jab and the right hand. I couldn't really jump on it. But
okay, yeah. Actually, that was my next question because I wasn't sure if you heard the commentators. You know, they were saying that you were winded. They were saying that they were saying a lot of things about you getting tired throughout the fight, and you had talked about the hand injury after the fight, and so I was wondering if you had gotten a chance to hear the commentators and what you might have thought about some of the things they said.
Oh yeah, I always hear the commentators. You know, the commentators are always saying some old ridiculous stuff. I don't pay them cats no attention. They always talking about I be tired, then it's this, that, and the third. But you know, I can't blame them because, like I said, they only can go off the performance I put on. So, like I said, I'm still a lot better than what I showed, and you know that's why I'm not complaining. I'm not making no excuses. When my hand get 100% and we come back, we gonna do what we got to do.
So,
Thomas,
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
It's all right, brother. Thomas, is Alex here with the Boxing Voice. Thanks for coming on, and just wanted to get a sense of what was the decision making and going into the pros. You seem not to have too much amateur fights. How did you decide to just say, let's hit the switch and just go straight to pro?
Well, it just got rough because like I was going to a lot of these tournaments. You know, I done fought a lot of these guys. I fought Robert Easter in the amateurs. I fought dude from Chicago. He just lost to DeMarco not too long ago. Eddie Ramirez. I fought a lot of top notch dudes that we thought we won the fight. I fought Eddie. I don't even know if it's Goldman. I don't even know if it's Ramirez or whatever his name is. But I fought him in the National Golden Gloves. I beat that kid. They robbed me. I fought a lot of top name dudes, and I kept going to these tournaments, and we was beating these dudes, and they weren't giving us a fair share. So it was like so long. While I went to the Olympic trials when they had them in Colorado in 20. That was for the 2012 Olympics. And we fought a dude from New York that we beat. That's when they had that little system going on. And I was whooping his dude. I was up by like 5 points. Somehow he come back and win by 4 points or something like that. And it was just kind of weird to me. Like, it's not how hard it was to score the points in. And I'm thinking like, okay. So I just figured I got tired of not getting the fair share. And that's another reason why it don't bother me that the ones I got now. Because it's like, even though I didn't feel like I got robbed, I feel like I started slowing the fight, and I gave that fight away myself because of the injury. But it just told me that, all right, it's time to go ahead and turn it to the next level.
Ness, did you want to cut in, or did I have another one?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask about the team. This is now your second loss and a draw in your last, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights. Are you planning on making some changes, or are you just attesting that to the hand and hoping that once surgery is done?
It's a lot of adjustments need to be made, and I talked to the team already. Actually, while we on this quarantine, there's too much that really can do right now, so we are relaxing. But when everything get back, in shape and back floating, all that'll be made. But it's like, and it's funny. Like, I'm just gonna deliberate. That's why, like, when I fought dude for the belt when I went to Texas and whatnot, and everybody was saying, "Don't do this, don't do that." I knew I could beat the dude, and that fight shouldn't have been close. It was close. It was a close fight. It was a close fight. I think it was. I think it might have been even, or I might have been down the point going into that round when they stopped it. But I just used to stuff like that because coming out from when I first turned pro, I had to go on the B side and go to a lot of these little dudes that was 2-3-0 or whatever their records was, 1-0, 2-0 as the B side opponent and fight. But I knew my ability, and I went and I did what I had to do. But like now it's just like I'm used to the hard route. I never had it easy and I'm not saying I've been fighting the best opposition, but I just never had it to where I had a lot of these cats that's got the money behind them. They go and get these fights, and they get these dudes that's tailor-made for them to beat. I never had that. I had to fight every fight.
All right, Thomas, we got a few questions from the people, and we wanted to get to those. First one is coming from George Foster in the UK. Says, how do you see Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez playing out?
Actually, it's a great fight. It's a beautiful fight. That's a beautiful fight, and it's sad because I feel like Lomachenko probably the greatest is out there. But again, we see them in there with a lot of caps. I just don't think we see them in there with a skill set like Teofimo. And I can't really say it's a 50-50 fight. I just want to sit back and watch the fight. I can't really predict no winner. I say it's a 50-50 fight. A lot of people count Teofimo out. I give him a chance.
All right. Host Josue Boxeo says, during this quarantine time, what are your top 3 movies to watch?
No, I actually don't watch movies like that. That's what's funny. Like, it's either I'm watching boxing or I'm in the gym. So it's funny with this quarantine. All I'm doing is really in the house playing this video game.
What game
and
you
I
playing?
got cable and all that, but I'm not really. I be playing Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty,
All
NBA
right.
2K. So on the game I play.
I mean, you
But,
could always
yeah.
throw your game tag out there, your tagger name, and have people really bring you that work if you want.
I mean, yeah, but if anybody like I said, I'm always up for the competition. My name on if you got an Xbox is Big Gunner Draco, and that's Big Gunner Drako Draco, and we can always jump on there and play. But yeah.
There you have it. We got Trey who says, who is your favorite lightweight fighter of all time?
My favorite boxer, Pernell Whitaker.
Okay. I just watched Pernell versus Oscar. DAZN put that out, and I said, let me just go ahead and watch it. Good fight, man. Oscar, man, 24-year-old Oscar was serious back then. Marcus, Ohio Runs Boxing says, since I've been covering Ohio boxing, I personally believe you, Jared Anderson, Charles Conway, and Isaiah Steen are the hardest punchers in our state. And that's huge because we have a lot of good fighters. My question is, who has been the hardest puncher you faced in sparring from Ohio? Because I also seen you in with Robert Easter in camp before as well.
You said the hardest puncher from Ohio?
Yeah, that you've been in the ring with.
That I sparred. Let me see. I sparred AB. He had a nice pop, but I'd probably get out to Yandel Evans.
Yo, Yandel was my man. I thought he was gonna knock out Fortuna that time on ESPN. I was so high on him, bro. And man, you know his issue was with he linked up with Roy, man. He had a training issue. That's what it was, man. He needed a whole team to take him away from home and do the training like with Cunningham, take him to Florida or something. What you think?
Yeah. Actually, that's what he's been doing.
Oh, he's still fighting?
Going to DC. Yeah, he's still in the gym. He be training with Barry and them still. He just can't get no fights. He posts stuff trying to call out the names like I think at 22 and 26 because he don't got no promoter nor manager. And it just really ain't nobody giving him a fight. Like, I don't know what his situation. But I talked to him maybe about a week ago. Yeah, he's still training or whatever. He just said he's just waiting on the call. So.
Yeah, Yandel had that pop, man. He definitely did.
Yeah, he got a crazy pop. So I used to spar him. It just, other than him, I think he for sure was the strongest, and probably I'm gonna say since I sparred professionally, because I don't know if he hit the JD Adams, but that motherfucker used to be able to hit. But that was the amateur days. He ain't ever turned pro. No, he did turn pro. I think he like 1-0, 2-0, but he was a heavy hitter. Other than that, I'll probably say Bonner got a nice hook on him.
Intrigue the Incredible says, when the smoke clears, which one of these young, hungry lions will have the most prosperous career in the welterweight division? Jerron Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, Brandon Lee.
I'm gonna go with my favorite fighter, my favorite young fighter, and that's Boots. Virgil a dog, Brandon Lee a dog, but Boots, that's my boy, man. I gotta go with Boots.
All right. Two more. We got J Mac in the New Orleans says Terrence Crawford. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nah. Go ahead. Talk to me about Boots.
No. I was just saying Boots. I think he probably and don't get me wrong, Crawford is tremendous. I think he's the best switch hand fighter in boxing today. Boots. He just ain't got there yet. But they see when he get there. He trying. I'm telling that motherfucker cold.
So you never tried doing that? You never tried switching stances?
Like, don't get me wrong, Terrence Crawford, a cold, he's good, great boxer, but Boots' skill set on the whole, his skill set's a couple notches up. That's just it. He just got a couple notches up on the skill set.
Wow, that's surprising because a lot of fighters, actually most fighters have been saying Bud is, saying the opposite, like trying to build him up as opposed to not that you're trying to break him down or nothing, but just the opposite direction. You know what I'm saying?
No, Bud a dog. What I'm just saying is, like, see, they ain't probably a lot of people ain't hit the Boots yet. He ain't. Bud already made his platform. But when Boots
okay,
get
I
out
feel
there,
what you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Two more. We got J Mac in the New Orleans says Terrence Bud Crawford versus Earl Spence. Who you got?
See, that's a 50-50. I can't really pick no winner. I got to sit back and watch it. And the reason I'm going to say that is, I always thought that Earl Spence wasn't invincible, but he making these team, and clearly Sean Porter showed us that. Now, I'm going to back that up. Ain't nobody really can make any fight with Sean Porter going to be a rough fight. Oh, I forgot. I sparred with Sean Porter. Yandel still get that punch. I think, Yandel still get that strongest punch. And they'll still get that strongest punch. But yeah, I probably, I don't know. Like I said, it's 50-50. I can't really call no winner in that fight. But I just feel like it's gonna be a lot more competitive than a lot of people like way. A lot of people call Bud, but everybody just Earl. But Sean showed that Earl is not invincible. So
last one.
You gotta wait till the fight happens.
Definitely. Last one from Trey in the Bay says, did Lomachenko duck Devin Haney?
No, he ain't duck Devin Haney. It's the same situation. Now, don't get me wrong, he could have fought Devin, but I feel like it's the same situation that all the champions do. They want you to get something first. And I don't get me wrong, he did get the belt. But now that he got the belt, he already was set up really to fight with Teofimo. I don't really feel like he ducked him. I actually feel like Devin probably the best one of the lightweights out there. A lot of people don't give Devin the credit. Yeah, he ain't really fought that kind of level of opposition yet. He's a good boxer though, but I don't feel he ducked him. I just feel like just like everybody else is doing, like Tank told Tevin to get a belt. Then Tevin got a belt. They still never fought. And you know how they do, how the fighters do. Me, I'm from the hood. I'm from the ghetto. Like, we ain't gotta wait for no belt. We could fight, sign a contract right now and let's fight. We can fight for free. Like, I feel like a lot of these fighters just be bullshit. Don't get me wrong, I'm saying it's a business. You got mouths to feed, family to take care of. But it'd be a lot of excuses to a lot of these fights. But it really gonna be the fighters to be the back end of the business side of it.
All right. Well, Thomas, Gunner Man, Mattice, man, we want to thank you for coming on the show and talking some boxing with us. If you can, please keep us updated as soon as this COVID is over or you get anything announced, whether that be a trainer, a new strength and conditioning coach, whatever, man. Keep us updated so we can reschedule you, get you back on the show, and you can let the audience know. We do appreciate you. Please give out any social media for anyone who isn't following you, and thank you once again.
Everybody can follow me on Instagram at Thomas Gunnerman Mattice, Facebook at Thomas Gunnerman Mattice, and Twitter at I Am Gunnerman. And, thanks to all the UK fans and all the fans all over the world that still, behind me and back me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Up and coming prospect contender Thomas Gunnerman Mattice out of Ohio. Ohio really does breed a lot of fighters. It's like freaking Philadelphia, the way everybody fights out of Ohio. Yeah, man, I hope he could get that bounce back and, hopefully it's the surgery with the hand and he comes back looking, better than ever. But one loss, like I said, man, one loss doesn't define a fighter, and we got to make that more of a staple around here. So we're going to keep trying to get all fighters on, man, regardless of wins and losses. You know what I mean?
And Isaac was a guy too, like coming in, like he's got a pedigree. You know what I mean? Like he was the young kid coming in, like, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I'm saying like.
Oh, you mean Cruz?
Yeah, Cruz. What did I say?
No, you said his first name, right? Isaac?
Oh, okay, good. My bad. I thought I messed it up. Yeah, but Thomas comes in the situation. I'm not saying that he's, I'm not relegating him to the B side. He has to lose or anything like that. All I'm saying is that he came in. This is a tough fight. No matter how you slice it, this was a tough fight. And he made him look like the subpar talent in there early on. Like, I mean, Thomas looked like the guy.
But that's what the announcers were saying, that he got tired.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
So he's gonna have to work on that, man. Stamina is
well, you'd say
the
that
biggest
for him.
thing.
It was a hand injury. It was a hand injury. So I'll take him at his word. We got to see him again though, because A, I want to see him again, and B, definitely let's see if it was a hand injury. If he does have those miles in him.
Yeah, man. Listen, being able to throw punches and not look exhausted can make the difference between winning and losing, especially in the eyes of the judges, But I want to thank everybody that called in, everybody that is tuned in. I want to thank all the guests that we had on this morning. Thomas Gunnerman Mattice. And who we had up first? We had Justin Big Time Briggs. I could call him Briggs. Biggs. Let's go out to some callers real quick. We're going to get to a word from the sponsors, and then we'll go out to all the phone lines. You know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. And don't forget, for our daily show patrons, you can definitely add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to call us from anywhere in the world.
Let's go! I'm ready!
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
All right. Let's go out to Troy in Baltimore. Boomerang, what up?
How you doing? I heard you waxing poetic about Wilder and Fury and Joshua, so I thought I'd call in and add my 6 cents, right? Now, I've said this before. If I'm Wilder, I'm looking at the bigger picture for me. I'm going to take that step-aside money, and then I'm going to get myself better while those two are beating each other. And at the end of the day, I'll get the rematch with the unified champion, because that's what boxing wants. That's what the fans want, and that's actually what I want, right? And then I'll make more money once I defeat whoever wins out of the two of them, right? And I can move my career on from there instead of jumping into a Fury fight, which really nobody wants to see, because we have one fight. We have fight 1, which he was outboxed. We have fight 2, which he was thoroughly defeated. What's fight 3 going to be? So why not wait till whoever wins all the belts, fight that individual, and then you could get what you've always wanted and go from there. That would make more sense for him on every level.
I hope Mijo's listening.
We got Steve in Chicago. Talk to me. Ringer. Steve, just listening at the moment. I'm giving my boomerangs on Skype a little bit of time. I know Trey and J-Mac usually working. We're going to Stone Bone. Talk to me.
What up? What up?
What up?
I hope I ain't too loud. I'm driving, man. Might be on the speaker or something. But yeah, man, good interviews, man. Ness, you gonna learn one day, man. That guy must have been on the back call with us, man. He talking about the wrestling background and pushing guys around and stopping guys. I said, that's a smart guy, Ness. You need to interview that fire a little bit more, man.
I mean, I am learning. I am learning, but the problem is no one is taking into consideration the level of opponent.
Hey, they don't respect some of those guys. They respect the Lamont Petersons, but they don't respect the Bundles and none of those guys. They respect Bud for beating the champions. And if you beat your champion, no matter what we think, those guys who have been fighting their whole life, waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, running 5 miles a day for this belt. So you might not respect that this guy knocked out Troy Yanofsky or this guy knocked out this guy to get that belt. But people,
I respect it. You know that. You know we even did a live fight chat for Edward Janowski and Julius Sandango. I'm just saying, Julius Sandango, you know, he ain't Amir Khan. He ain't Lucas Matisse. You know, he ain't Lamont Peterson. Like, he ain't one of those, you know, dudes. But
he's not Amir Khan.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't Bradley. He wasn't Maidana. Like, there was a different level of 140 back then, and that's what people trying to gloss over. Like, bro, we talking about Devin, Bradley,
Amir Khan,
Maidana, Victor Ortiz, Lamont Peterson. Who am I missing? You know, Kendall Holt.
You could say Amir Khan twice.
It was so many people undefeated at 140. Like, you know, you guys making this bullshit ass like parade for his run. Like, the real run was when Bradley was there. The real run,
but you know,
was when
here's
Danny
the other thing,
was there.
though, here's the other thing that they're saying, and this is what Justin was saying. You know, it's one of those things where, okay, was it so competitive back then? It was, but was it so competitive back then compared to Terrence's time at 140? Or was Terrence just that good? Were some of these guys meant for something else, but had the stigma of getting killed by Crawford? You know what I'm saying?
Beltran is Alexander, and Derry Jean is Amir Khan, and fucking what is it? Sanabria is Lamont Peterson.
Listen,
like, come on,
Diaz,
bro, stop
Felix
it, bro.
Diaz. Yo, listen.
Every show we
Felix
gotta do this.
Diaz.
This is amazing.
I'm just saying, like, okay, you're right.
I just need him to fight.
It's the caller's time.
I just need him to fight. No. I'm not saying you. I'm saying just like it's not you. It's not you. I don't mean when I say every show we got to do. I don't mean you. Believe me. I mean the bud tenders.
No. And here's the thing. I don't want it to turn into that either.
Oh, it's
you know
already
what I mean? Like,
there.
I want to produce good radio. So
no, it's
I
already
absolutely
there.
agree with
It's
you.
already there because
you're right.
That's
It's
what they want. That's what they
in the
want,
back.
and that's okay. That's okay. But it's just like it's like a merry-go-round. You know what I mean? We're going in circles until we get a valid fight. We're going in circles. I feel like a UK fan, right, on the outside looking in. Back in the day when Wilder was undefeated, right? Like, they would all they do, oh, he's a bum, he ain't fight nobody, So we needed him to fight somebody to silence them. Just silence me. Fight someone. You know what I mean? Not anyone. Someone. I'm such a nice guy that every day I get on here and I still say, fight Broner. Because I'm willing to help. I'm giving you the blueprint.
But you're also willing to say that Felix Diaz it gives you more credibility as a fighter than a Adrian Broner.
No. Adrian Broner's a 4-time champion, and he's got better wins than Felix fucking Diaz. Felix Diaz
that
is
was
biggest.
That was okay.
Felix
But
Diaz.
okay, you know what? I'm sorry. That was a bad example. Felix Diaz was a bad example. No, you know what? Felix Diaz is a good example because what I'm trying to say is that Felix Diaz means more than when you gloss over resume. You could easily overlook Felix Diaz on that resume. With Adrian Broner, he stands out, but for what reasons at this point?
Bruh,
That's all I'm trying to say.
Felix Diaz is retired, man. He's worse
But
than
again,
Broner.
we're talking about what the fight meant at that time.
It ain't
Felix Diaz
it
at
meant
that
nothing.
time means more. It meant nothing.
Come on, bro. My man was coming off. My man was coming off
Bro,
a loss.
He beat Sammy Vasquez.
He was coming
who else
off
did
a
he
loss.
beat? He beat Adrian Granados.
He was coming off a loss. He was coming off.
No,
a
he
loss.
wasn't. He had 2 wins in a row.
He didn't lose to Peterson.
That was 3 fights before that. He had a majority decision loss to Peterson, gave him hell. Then he beat Sammy Vasquez. Then he beat Levin Morales. And then he fought Tevin Crawford. Sammy Vasquez was undefeated. Vasquez was undefeated.
No, that's a good win. Levin Morales from DR. Everybody who listens to the show know what I say about DR. We could take a fight at the DR and fluff him up. Let's stop.
It was a tune-up to get ready for Crawford.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah.
But you're right. He got the Sammy Vasquez win, but that doesn't mean anything. How is beating Sammy, the same guy that Luis fucking Collazo knocked out? You know what I mean? This guy went to UD. Collazo knocked him out. Right? Let me double check that. That.
I'll tell you what, it means more than
Collazo
beating Adrian Broner. It means more than beating an Adrian Broner whose current record is
but Mario, don't do that. Don't do that. Listen, when it comes to Broner for Crawford, it's not about competition. What don't you get? It's not about competition. It's not about competitiveness. It's about building Terrence Crawford's profile. That's it.
I absolutely understand that. But I prefaced what I said by saying I get what you're saying. Adrian Broner's the bigger fight. It means more, and it does something to the resume that other fighters don't do. All I meant was that you got to give Terrence, the fighter, the competitor, the athlete, the sportsman, more credit for beating Felix Diaz when he beat him than you would give to beat an Adrian Broner.
Brother,
regardless of how many titles he's won,
Terrence
Adrian Broner's washed up. Felix Diaz was not washed up.
I would rather give Terrence more credit for being a good businessman and securing the right fight than giving him credit for a dude that biggest win is Sammy Vasquez. Isn't Sammy retired?
I would say Adrian Granados is the biggest win.
Isn't Sammy retired after Luis Collazo retired him? Yes, he is.
But wasn't it because of some massive injury?
Massive injury?
Or wasn't it because of a head injury or something?
I don't know. I know he had PTSD.
I might be wrong.
He was the Who Can Mexican.
Maybe that's what it is.
He was the Who Can Mexican. He went to the military. He had PTSD.
I remember him very well.
But after 2 losses, he retired. But that's the thing, too. Right. His name was the Who Can Mexican, okay? He was the Who Can Mexican. And what that meant was that he fought like a Mexican. That's why after 2 losses, he's retired like Mexicans, all right? So let's just stop. Like, why we got to lie, man? Let's just give him a fight. I'm telling you, the Broner fight will change his life in a good way. It will open so many doors. So many. I'm giving the fight to Devin, too. That's why you know it ain't bullshit. Devin sees it. Devin seen it. Last night on the show, he said, "You right. It's a career-defining fight. It will do X, Y, Z, whatever." I don't want to paraphrase for him right now. But, yeah, man, we need that. Like, I'm past this whole he's better, who's better. I'm trying to get the fight done so the argument can end. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired already. I feel like I'm in that Mayweather-Pacquiao era again, and I don't want to be there because Mayweather-Pacquiao were proven they was on that level. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, give him the fight. Let's help him get there. Whoever that is, bro. Whoever that is. Look, I was even trying to throw Haney at him yesterday because I thought Haney said it in that interview, but, he said he didn't. Whoever's popular enough to help him build the popularity, to help us as boxing fans, secure those Danny fights, those Earl fights, those Manny Pacquiao fights. The only way he's getting those fights is to build the popularity. Once all the bud tenders and the milk buds get that, they will start tagging him like, yo, fight Broner, beat his ass, and you're going to get the popularity. Like, we got to help him see the light. We got to help him. And look, it was a good try with Amir. You can't knock that. You know I do on certain days to give the bud tenders a little bit of hate because I ain't part of the Butterhood. So it's like, listen, yes, he failed on his pay-per-view, but in reality, I also always backhandedly give him credit for Bob Arum 2 times he put him in a pay-per-view. That's, I like to say that Bob don't believe in him. That's showing me that he does believe in him. He put him, Bob is a legendary promoter, and I always feel like he makes the wrong decision with Crawford. Like, why would I spend money on a pay-per-view with Terrence and Postal and Terrence and Khan? Like, from a boxing person's perspective, I don't see that. I don't see how I'm making that money back. But, from the outside looking in, he's like, two unsuccessful pay-per-views and his promoter's still there, pushing him, still making him a main event, still getting ESPN to replay his fight. So, it's a little weird, man. It's like they show that they love him, but then at the same time, how much do you love me if you can't give me the big fight? This guy just signed with the company. He gets the big fight in Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? Pulev just signed with the company. He about to get the big fight with AJ. Like, bro, y'all basically brought me up. Give me my big fight. You telling me that Jeff Horn is my big fight? And you got to sit me down and be like, but remember, he beat Pacquiao. Like, I don't want to be reminded that he beat Pacquiao for that to be my biggest fight. I want it to be a big fight because it's a big fight. I mean, listen, if Earl, people are suggesting that Earl never fight again, right? Rick Ramos, the trainer of Jessica McCaskill. Imagine for a second that that's true. He's accomplished something. He got the big fight. You guys could turn around and call in all the Butterhood and say, but Terrence accomplished something too, Ness. He accomplished more than Earl. You right. He undisputed. He pound for pound. He all that good shit. But he never had the experience. He didn't have the experience. He didn't have the experience that Earl had with a successful pay-per-view. He didn't have the experience that Earl had with a sold out, almost 50,000 people cheering your name. That's reaching that level that not everybody could be put on. Once you're a pay-per-view star, it is different. Like he said, big fish, tables turn. It's different. It's different. I'm just saying. You could have all those accolades, but to be on that stage, imagine what Wilder Fury felt like for those two men. Think about that. Or McGregor Mayweather, like those are big stages. Pacquiao Mayweather, big stages. Mikey Earl was the big stage. Whether or not I hated the fight, it was the big stage. He proved me wrong. I guesstimated 50,000 pay-per-views and like 28,000 fans. They did 48,000 fans. So, I mean, and 345 pay-per-views. So, like, even though the fight was shit from a hardcore fan's perspective, he still was successful. So he got that experience, man. I mean, look, for me, as a dude that covers the sport on a daily basis, if I close my eyes and I wish to be a fighter, of course I want the big fight. Of course I want that big show. That big stage. You don't think I want to be Victor Ortiz and fight Mayweather and then get to do fucking Expendables with Sylvester Stallone and do fucking Dancing with the Stars and not have to worry about getting punched in the face no more? I mean, you guys don't understand what the big stage means. Look, Wilder got to the big stage. He did television. An entire series on Bravo TV. Then he did a couple episodes on Showtime's Billions. It's a different level. The movie checks are different than being punched in the face. And we could talk about AJ too. Look at all the endorsements. My man make money from Under Armour forever. It's different. It's different. Where is that resume for Crawford? They haven't established it yet because he hasn't gotten to that level. And I blame the promoter.
Listen, to be fair, though, none of those welterweights are at that level, really. I mean, you know, Pacquiao didn't get to that level.
With the exception of...
Hold on. With the exception of who?
Pacquiao and fucking Earl.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, not Earl, but yeah, Pacquiao
Earl's the
definitely.
Hold on. Earl's the only welterweight of this time to have multiple successful pay-per-views. You could throw Keith in there because he had one, but you know, then you got to say
you don't want me to. Okay, I get what you're saying. You don't want me to include Pacquiao Mayweather era stats, and that's not fair. You're right.
No, you can. But I'm saying he's the only welterweight of this time to be successful doing pay-per-view. You could throw in Thurman. But he only got
but if
one.
We're bringing in the Pacquiao Mayweather era. That's not successful by those standards.
No, but you
understand that,
Mario. But you are smarter than me, brother. You can bring in Mayweather Pacquiao era, but still have to factor in what generation we are in and how illegal streaming has picked up since then. It's not the same. So yeah, bring them in. Bring them in to tell people the numbers.
Okay, it's not that. Okay, you're right. It's different, and you're right. There are streaming issues, but I don't think that accounts for the mass drop off between interest in pay-per-views.
Okay, so then
the
think
Mayweather
about
Pacquiao
this.
era as to now, it just doesn't work. So when you say that these guys need the Pacquiao, these guys need the Mayweather, these guys need, each other, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make them into stars. Pacquiao wasn't the star he became until De La Hoya. Mayweather, same thing. These guys need that A side to rub off on. But Earl's not. Earl might have solidified himself as the A side king, I guess, by these standards, but that's not saying as much as it used to mean when you talked about Mayweather being at that level. So it's not the same thing. And so these guys all need each other. They all need to get to that level somehow where they're doing millions of pay-per-view, where just the name alone, like Canelo, you don't even have to say who he's fighting. It's the Canelo fight. It's the Wilder fight. It's the Joshua fight. You feel me? It's the Mayweather fight. But nobody goes and says it's the Spence fight, because you didn't like the Garcia fight. Neither did I. And he needs a solidified B side or a better A side, like a Pacquiao, to fully realize his capabilities in this era and to reach whatever plateau is out there that Mayweather is set and Pacquiao is set since they've departed. Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying? That is ultimately, he'll never get there without Bud either.
Yo, so we ain't got to hear Mario say sorry when I murder him. Somebody else pick up this debate. Help him. We're going to use Fury Wilder 2 as the universal new standard for pay-per-view buys. And I'll give you a reason why. Instead of being like Mario and try to look for negativity in the argument and bring up Mayweather Pacquiao numbers, which are clearly...
You told me to bring them up.
I said,
asked
listen
you,
to me.
and you said for me to do it.
I said you can if you want. Remember, you was like, oh, so you don't want me to? And I'm like, no, do what you want. But I got my argument, and my argument is this. That was a time.
God, you sound crazy right now.
That was a time that is it was long ago and it's long forgotten. But what's not forgotten are those numbers. Those numbers are a barometer. Great. We got a benchmark. Perfect. But what happened since Mayweather Pacquiao sets a new precedent, right? There's a new barometer. A new benchmark has been established. But why, Ness? How? How can't we take two guys that had consistently done individual pay-per-views and gotten well above 900,000 each one? They are the true benchmark in boxing pay-per-view standard. Not anymore. We are in the millennial age where things get streamed illegally. Because of that, the new benchmark is Wilder Fury 2. Why, Ness? Why? Because it was unprecedented. We never seen ESPN and Fox, two multi-billion-dollar companies, come together to promote. The promotion from those two entities could never, ever, 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 ever compare to the promotion of one sole entity, like Mikey and Earl. So let's think about that for a minute. We had 2 to 3 Super Bowl advertisements, multiple millions and millions of dollars in advertisements, and Wilder Fury only got to 850,000. But Wario, the resident fucking hater, wants you to believe a guy who made 345,000 on one single network without the help of ESPN, a known sports network, without the co-promotion, without Super Bowls, without any of the extra seasoning and pizzazz and sparkle that they added to Wilder Fury, he ain't no star. And he wants you to also believe that the other guy who's still fighting is no longer a star in Manny when he and Thurman did 600 on one network.
I didn't say that. All I meant was he's not that active.
I'm giving facts. Earl is the new.
Let's go to facts.
Earl, I'm not done. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt. I sat back and waited for you to kill yourself. All I know is I'm giving facts, and the facts are that Earl has established himself as the pay-per-view draw. We can take it. Pacquiao did 2, so he's still at number 1. He did 600, 400, and that's Thurman, Broner. Earl did 345, 275, something like that, 225 with Sean, right? Crawford did 150, 50. So who's in the running? It ain't nobody else. Am I missing?
I'm gonna just
put Wilder Fury number 1. That was Showtime only. That did like 325. So look at that. Look at that. Well, a welterweight doing more than heavyweights. A welterweight did more than heavyweights.
Research here. Let's do some real-time research here, okay? Because Justice Potter, I think, said, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it, right? And so I'll look to Enrique. Enrique, I'm going to ask you a simple question. You can answer it however you'd like, as easily or complicated as you'd like. Does the name Spence right now have the same type of cachet in your mind as Pacquiao or Mayweather had when they were doing their thing consistently?
Does the name Spence have cachet in my mind?
That boy name ring bells.
That Pacquiao Mayweather when they were doing it.
That boy name ring bells.
Objection.
That boy name ring bells like Sunday at 12 o'clock.
Leading the witness. One more outburst and we're going to hold you in contempt. Enrique, go ahead.
No, because Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao were superstars at that time.
My man.
So do I get to cross-examine?
Now, different era. Spence could be considered a star, maybe not a superstar, but a star.
Thank you.
I
ain't even got a cross-examination.
That was my argument. You're trying to take this argument and you're trying to big up Spence as much as you can in this realm of deflated numbers. Okay. And I'm here. I said the same thing. If you want to put Spence in this bubble, sure, we can call him the pay-per-view star, whatever you want to call him. But he has the ability to bust out of that bubble and potentially reach the exact same numbers that a Pacquiao Mayweather had. I mean, I don't. That's it. That's a lot.
Exactly. Hard to say that. Hard to say that with the illegal streams.
Much more successable than he is today if he were to fight the Bud Crawford of the world. And I didn't say the Bud Crawford.
Everybody knows that.
Over everyone but Pacquiao. Over everyone but
Pacquiao. Brother, but everybody knows that the fight with him and Bud is going to do numbers. We're not saying that it's not. We saying we got to build Bud because he's not ready.
Who's not ready?
But Earl's ready right now.
From a marketing standpoint, motherfucker, of course.
No, I'm not.
Of course he's ready.
I wasn't being sarcastic. I was just getting your point. I wanted to lay it out.
Let's ask ourselves.
Earl is ready commercially. Bud's not ready commercially.
Bro, I ain't even going to say
commercially.
I ain't even going to say. I'm not even going to say that Earl's ready commercially. Earl has proven that already commercially. He's proven that. Jerry Jones has sought him out the same way that they sought out Canelo, the same way that they sought out Gennady Golovkin. When venues are looking for you to host events, you are a draw. I mean, like, Why are we doing this?
My man Warren Buffett went to Bud. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, and sat in the cheap seats. A lot he did. A lot he did to help. A lot. No, not
because he's smart.
He's also not a fan of Bud. Why he ain't pay for the $1,500 seat? He gonna sit up there with the poor people like he ain't got money, like he can't support the fucking movement
That's why
for Bud.
He's not poor people because he don't spend his money on
and
that.
That's why Bud ain't no star because everybody in the cheap seats.
Oh man, that's hate. Ooh.
Brother, when a billionaire is buying your cheap seats, at least be a billionaire and buy the whole fucking block of cheap seats. Nah, he bought one cheap seat.
How many times you seen Warren Buffett in the cheap seats at any other fight?
Bruh, I don't even know who Warren
Buffett
is.
Yo, maybe the expensive seats weren't available. They're like, yo, hey, I'm gonna give you these.
Oh man, that would have been, dude. That would be nuts.
I don't see a reason why
all I could give you is these. Yo, that would be like, how in demand is that fight for you that you're putting Warren Buffett? Yo, he was like touching the back of the wall of the stadium, bro.
Let me get to Boomerang in the UK. To this day.
To this day. To this day.
Sing along if you know the words. Come on.
Yo, that part always gets me, that Tyson Fury. Sing along if you know the words.
Yeah, it's funny shit. Yo, what's going on? What's going on, people?
What up, brother?
Oh, man, this Bud Spence conversation can just go on forever, man. It's just
right.
Yeah, I just need them to fight, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just want to see the fights, but I don't think Spence is. I don't even think that fight will happen. I don't know if Spence is going to fight again. I guess we'll see. But quickly, I just want to go back to the original conversation. Ness, you were saying something about how there's a definite number one in the heavyweight division, and it's Tyson Fury. And I think Mario was trying to say there's no definite number one. And then you were saying something about how because
Bruh,
AJ lost.
You know who's the number one, man. You know who's the number one. Stop it, man.
This is the problem. This is the problem. We're fickle as fans. It's like we keep forgetting that just because fighter A.
Yo, so Tyson didn't
let him get it off. I want to hear what he says.
His time up. You only get a minute. I'm giving him extra
him for 15 seconds.
All right. He getting 15 more. Go.
I've only spent 30 seconds. What are you on about, Ness? Oh my days. Anyway, give me my full boomerang. Let me get off my point. Listen, what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, just because one fighter, like you said, one loss does not define the fighter. Why doesn't that always apply across the board?
It does apply.
You choose.
It does apply. It does apply. Listen.
Exactly.
There's only one Deontay Wilder.
Listen, it does apply, brother. Joshua took a loss. It doesn't define his career. He's not a bum. I haven't called him a bum. I didn't say it's over. You know, did I question those things? Yeah, but he came back. He won the rematch. He showed us that it's not over. But he's just not number one because you're in boxing. There's a ranking system. Dog, you drop. Like, the fact that you delusional fucking UK fans want to act like the loss didn't happen just because he avenged it. You don't avenge a loss and jump back in the same ranking position. You dropped. The boxing world moved on. Fury is the new number one. But let's think about that for a second. How could he not be number one when he beat the biggest win on Joshua's record? Like, Joshua's claim to fame. Let me finish. Joshua's claim to fame is Anthony Joshua versus Vlad. Who did that first? Tyson. Okay, so wait, Tyson dethroned him. Okay. And then he was vacated, so he never lost. Everything that he said before the fight that I didn't want to agree with, that I hated the lenient, it was, it's still true, and he made it more true. He validated it by beating the most feared man in the division. You don't got to call Wilder number one. We could give that to Anthony because he had more belts, but Wilder was considered the most feared for sure. He was absolutely the most feared. It was super difficult for AJ to negotiate with him, but super easy. And now we know why it was super easy for Tyson, because he was super confident.
Listen, there was a 1A and a 1B. Those names were Wilder and Joshua. The moment that Fury
That's
had
not
a
true.
draw
That's not
with
true.
Wilder, hold on.
Fury's
hold on.
1A.
Let me just burn.
Fury's 1A.
Hold on.
Fury's 1A because he's champion in recess.
But I'm talking about before the fight when nobody was talking about him because everybody thought that his career was over. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. There was a 1A and a 1B. That was Joshua and Wilder, right? Not in that order, whatever order you want to put it in. Fury inserted himself into the position. So now there's 1A, 1B, 1C.
No,
what we're saying
no.
Hold on.
Time out.
What we're saying is this one loss does not. It doesn't define the career, but you're saying it also doesn't revert you back to where you were. Correct? That's what you're saying. That doesn't make any sense.
Time out
you're
on
saying
the
two
play.
different things.
Time out on the play. Listen, if you got a number one universal, because he beat Vlad. He's the man to beat the man. He was
how time changed.
He was number one.
You were not making these arguments,
brother. I always made the argument. I just never liked the fight. He changed my thought. He changed my mind about him. We're supposed to evolve. He fought a shit fight in the Vlad fight, and shit in the means like it wasn't fun.
Not exciting.
It wasn't fun. But then he turned that around with Wilder both times. The first fight with Wilder was fun. The second fight was fun. You know what I'm saying? So I can change the way I'm thinking. Oh, really quick super chat. Trenton Jones says, "Shut up, Mario. You only take the money if it's $20 million, and Wilder ain't no scrub. He know he can win. Go for it, champ. I believe in you, fam." And that's because you thought like, yo, take the step aside money. You know what I mean? Yeah. But listen, you got a universal number one, right? He put himself in doubt. Come on, let's be real, Mario. He put himself in doubt by removing himself. He's 3 years inactive. So all those arguments exist, and we're going to acknowledge them. Yo, he's 3 years inactive. He's out the rankings. Cool. Yo, he's 3 years inactive. How could he be number one? Cool. But you still knew the skill. And then when he jumped in there with Wilder after 2 tune-ups, right? Obviously, we thought he was crazy, but that fight changed perception. It put him on a different level. It put him back where he was. So he says, see, I beat the monster. I beat the dragon. They're like, nah. You won, but you really ain't win officially. You got to go back and do it. And Wilder was like, well, I beat him too. He should have never got up from that. Like, they should have never counted. They had the rematch. Before the rematch, the other guy who could argue that he's number one takes a loss to a 20-1. Like this whole thing going back in history to remind you that AJ is number 3, or arguably right now, come the second fight, the third fight with Fury, he and Wilder could be considered, like you said, 2B or whatever, because they need to battle it out for number 2 spot. But number 1 spot, that's been battled. You lost your claim to number 1 when you lost to a dude that don't belong at number 1.
So then who do you have at number 1 at welterweight?
Errol Spence Jr.
Okay, and Earl... Okay, so Earl's number 1.
Yes.
And yet he hasn't fought any one of those guys that, the beast that he knocks off. Like, who's the beast that he knocked off? He did it.
So,
you have him number 1.
So you need a beat...
So right. You have him number 1, right? But just like you have Fury number 1 because he beat that beast. But in the heavyweight division, there were 2 beasts in the division. Because this one beast lost, you're saying that he's irrelevant now. That he has no claim to the number 1 spot.
Not irrelevant.
Okay, in the number 1,
he
in the
dropped
number 1
in
spot
rankings.
talk.
He dropped in rankings. Yes, he dropped.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. And honestly, I was trying to figure it out. I wasn't being sarcastic or anything. So
sounds sarcastic.
I'm sorry if I do. Honestly, I really was not trying to be sarcastic. This is why I was trying to figure it out, because when you look at Fury and you look at him coming back and you want to crown him again, that's such a different thing than what we do with like a Floyd Mayweather. Because if Floyd Mayweather were to come back tomorrow and sign a fight, let's say he had a fight tomorrow against somebody random, gets him back in the rankings, is he number 1 over Spence?
Of course not. He wasn't the lineal. He wasn't the man that beat the man before he left. He was the man. So
he was the man. Yeah. Sure.
So just like Fury
was the man and then came
back.
Listen,
just like Fury, just like Vasil, he needs that 1 or 2 fights. Not even Bob could get Vasil a title fight because you got to get rank. It's part of boxing. I'm not making it up. Even Floyd can't come back and get a title shot. He got to get ranked.
I hear you, but even if you look at the logic that way, it doesn't matter because Fury came back to a crowded number one spot. Okay, and with Anthony Joshua, it still exists. And it might be based on commercial appeal. It might be based on a lot of stuff that doesn't have to do with skill. But when you say that we have a solidified number one, that's a lie, bro.
You
because
have no argument,
Anthony Joshua's got all the belts.
Bro, it's simple math. The sad part is that I wish I was making this argument for Wilder, but it's simple math. 3 undefeated guys, 2 took a loss, nigga. There's only one number one. This guy is funny,
bro. If you're listening on Blog Talk, he did that with his hands and flipped me off. So
because I don't get how you don't see
I
that.
won the conversation because he's getting frustrated.
No,
bro, I'm tired of racking up these W's. You want a couple?
I just don't see how people don't see that. Like it's easy. That's like now, right? Right now. You got Pacquiao, Spence, Crawford, right? I said that right. Right. Pacquiao, Spence, Crawford, right? Those are number one and number 1A, number 1B, right? In other people's mind, they could be number 1, 2, and 3. But realistically speaking, Pacquiao gets a claim to fame as number 1A because he's a legend and, he's still fighting on a high level, and he just came back and beat Thurman, but we know Thurman had an asterisk next to it. Earl gets number 1 because he unified versus the other only champion in the division. Bud is number 1A, because the public universally thinks he belongs at number 1. So if one of these 3 men take a loss before fighting each other, right? Let's say Pacquiao goes on to fight Amir Khan in Saudi Arabia, the way the rumors say. Earl goes on to fight Danny in June, the way the rumors say. And Crawford goes on to fight Kell Brook, the way the rumors say. Are you telling me if Crawford loses to Brook, he still could be number 1? Are you telling me if Earl loses to Danny, he still could be number 1? And finish that off. If Pacquiao loses to fucking Amir Khan in Saudi Arabia, how's he gonna be number 1, bro? Like, really, you're wilding.
So real quick, I'm just I'll finish my argument with this. Look, all I'm saying is that there is a group. There is a belief that Joshua is the number 1. It's not as prominent as it used to be. I consider Fury the number 1 fighter, and I think most people that aren't tied to the situation would consider it the same. That's not the argument. The argument is whether he has solidified himself undoubtedly as the heavyweight champion. And until he beats Joshua, it just doesn't work. Does he have to beat a guy like White? I wouldn't say he does. Does he have to beat a guy like Big Baby? I wouldn't say he does. Does he have to beat a guy like Ortiz? I wouldn't say he does. But all of that would already add to a resume that has Klitschko, Wilder, and Joshua on it. But until he knocks off Joshua, I can't sit here. When there are more belts out there for the group taking, and that's the problem with boxing. This isn't an issue between me and you. This is an issue between us and boxing. Until that happens, we're going to have situations like these. But there is still a guy. Look, King Kong, right? Was he on the Empire State Building, right? There's still another King Kong on the other side of the Empire State Building. That's all I'm trying to say. He might have kicked Wilder off and sent him down flying, 150.
Yo, I didn't know King Kong lost. How the fuck you calling yourself King Kong with a loss?
He might have knocked him off, but there was another King Kong on the other side until he climbs around and takes care of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and while Wilder's, making that climb back up, let them fight. Boom. We got ourselves a number 1 solidified, bona fide heavyweight champion.
Yo, speaking about King Kong, Canelo just tweeted, his daughter on his show on his back doing push-ups nonstop, talking about family time. So that conversation getting stale, putting me to sleep.
Brother, it's stale because people don't know how to take a loss. They don't know how to admit.
It's tired work.
It's crazy, bro, that you can argue, that someone is still number 1 after losing to a 20-1 dog. Like,
I don't have him number one. That's the point I'm trying to make.
in this show.
I don't have him number one. I'm just saying that he doesn't get to hold that full crown until he takes care of AJ.
Bro, that just sounds so ridiculous. I don't have AJ
Yeah.
number one, but Fury isn't number one, even though he beat Wilder and AJ lost.
Yeah,
like, you make no sense, bro. That's why people be DMing you like, bro, you crazy. Because you're not listening to
me,
what you're saying.
The O defines who's number one right there simply. You know what I'm saying? AJ has a loss, Wilder has a loss to Fury, and Fury has the 0. The conversation always who's the best heavyweight, right? AJ, Wilder, or Fury. Not in that order, and now there's an order. First place, Fury. Second place, I don't know. Maybe that's where the 2A.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Second place is up for grabs. I mean, it's not up for grabs because Wilder's contracted, but let's say Wilder wasn't contracted, AJ and Wilder could fight each other for second. Not to say that AJ wouldn't just go straight at Fury for legacy. I'm just saying there is no second. Those two that lost fight each other now.
Look, my whole thing is this. Look,
the argument, if the Povetkin and AJ was in the talks, right, of being made, what does that say has to happen to Povetkin now? Does he take step aside money? Was there a contract?
Yeah, he would have to, but you're on Wi-Fi. We're losing you a bit. But if Povetkin was in talks with AJ, but you really mean Pulev would have to take step aside.
The point I'm trying to make is
and
this.
Remember
Look,
that he's with, hold on, Mario. Remember that he's with Top Rank, so they believe the article metro.co.uk believes that because Pulev is with Top Rank, it'll be easier to have him also take step aside money.
Arum has, they're saying rumors are that Arum has said that could be a possibility. But listen, the whole point is this. Look, Floyd Mayweather was the fight everybody wanted to see, right? It was two top dogs. That's what most people believed. And then Pacquiao lost to Tim Bradley. Manny Pacquiao came back and beat Tim Bradley. And what happened? He still got that Floyd Mayweather fight. Why? Because
he was a star already.
Sure, he was a star.
Bro, but you're changing you're pushing the goalpost back. Pacquiao coming back to get the Mayweather fight don't got nothing to do with number one heavyweight or number one welterweight.
Yes, it absolutely does. Because while you can consider Floyd number one at the time, he still had to get that Pacquiao work to prove that he was the dominant species in that welterweight division filled with monsters.
You're insane.
And until Fury does the same with AJ, I don't think he'll be able to fully claim it. It's just too big of it. Look, you're telling me that if Fury goes the rest of his career without AJ on his resume, that you're ready to crown him? Like,
I think
you want to crown him, but that sounds crazy.
I think he has to be crowned. I think there's fans, and each individual fan is different. They're gonna people that side with you. There's gonna be people that side with AJ being number 2 over Wilder, and there's people that are gonna argue, no, let's fight for that number 2. But I think number 1 is Fury, hands down, regardless if he faces AJ or not.
He is number 1 right now. He is definitely number 1. But without fighting AJ, there would be an asterisk, a big asterisk. I'm not talking about a Mayweather Margarito.
Changing the goalposts again. Changing the goalposts again.
That's bound to happen.
That's not it.
This is
all.
This is what you do when you lose an argument. It's like, but all right, he's number 1, but he can't really be number 1 until he fights. Dog, you lost already. By admitting that he's number 1, your argument is done. You've admitted that you lost.
But it's bound to happen.
That was never the argument.
Bro, the argument always was number 1, and you said, no, how could you be number 1? They're 1A, 1B. I'm like, what the fuck? How they number 1A and 1B? Nah,
when Nestor mentioned that there's a contract right here, and that's why the whole step aside money's involved, it's still bound to happen. Wilder has to agree for the step aside money. Am I right or am I wrong? Step aside money, yes?
Yes.
Otherwise, it's still show on. We fighting Fury versus Wilder Part 3.
Yep.
That still doesn't take away Fury's number 1. It's bound to happen.
Out to these callers, man. Let them decide. We gave them a lot to talk about.
They're gonna hang you and they're gonna side with you.
Quick reminder on everything that was discussed. Obviously, we had plenty of questions from the Patreons for our 2 guests. We had Thomas Gunnerman Mattice on, and we also had Justin Big Time Biggs. And obviously the topic of discussion for this morning is Tyson Fury's team want Deontay Wilder to step aside to stage the Anthony Joshua fight next. And this is according to sources that told metro.co.uk that Tyson Fury plans to convince Deontay Wilder to step aside from the trilogy fight and take Anthony Joshua next in a unification showdown this year. So, let's see. Who did we go? Did we go to anyone at all? I feel like we did open up the lines, but did we go to
definitely opened up the lines. You went to
no one. We didn't go to no one. I don't think we went to no one.
I don't think you went to the next caller.
What?
And I just put King Born in. So
yeah, no, actually we did go to Coyote, who was a boomerang, and now we'll go to Steve. I went to you earlier, Steve. You didn't answer. What's going on in Chicago? Just listening, Steve. All right. We went to Stonebone, right? Or am I wrong? I feel like
we went to Stonebone.
Like that was
we
yesterday.
did.
Oh, we did. Yes, we did, because we were giving J-Mac and Trey in the Bay time. So I'll go to J-Mac. Hopefully you're ready, champ. Don't crash the truck.
You know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style. I'm a gorilla, I'm a dog. I'm a dog, I'm a gorilla.
The smartest thing you can do is to stay away from terrorists.
It can't be the boogeyman if I'm chasing him. You want to bet?
You bet 100,000 on that.
Let's bet $1 million.
Easy. Let's bet $1 million.
Man, I've been ready, man. Y'all motherfuckers can talk, man. God damn. Be clear, Troy. I'll expect you to want Wilder to take the step aside money. Mara, don't speak to us about Wilder. I don't want your advice on Wilder. You're a hater. You've been a hater. Go hide in your fucking corner when Wilder walk in your presence. Man, it's a good day to be a Bud fan. You got some guys coming on here spitting knowledge. Once again, it feels good to watch Nestor Gibbs get his face cracked every time when he bring these guys on here and he telling him the real. We don't need you to believe in his resume. But it's funny how when you got on that back call yesterday and all these knockouts, you had needed to argue a fucking knockout punch to win an argument. But you can't sit up there and we can't go down and see who beat the most champions and beat the guys in his weight division. Rather, we accept who it was. It still don't change the fact that he beat more champions than any guy that you can bring up other than your meat man.
I don't know what you mean, bro. We did do that. You asked us to go through champions. I think we came up with 6 champions that Crawford beat and 3 or 4 champions. Actually, 4 champions that Earl beat. So I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see. We got JT, talk to me. Wait, yep. JT, talk to me.
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. Come on. That was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. You know, we're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'm killing this mother. Why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
What's up, Ness? What's up, Mike? I'm sorry, Mario.
Morning.
What up?
Morning. Man, I'm just getting up, man. I don't even know the topic, so I'm just listening. But shout out to TVV, y'all.
All right. Hey, Trey, for you, because you wanted me to give it to JT, you want me to give it to J Mac or somebody else? Text me there. We're going out to Keem in Florida. Talk to us.
El gran campeón puertorriqueño, this is Davis, Chico Trinidad.
You got any excuses tonight, Roy? Let's not ask questions like that. Let's touch gloves and go to work. Tonight, Roy. Let's go to work.
Hey, I'm just listening, bro.
All right. We going out to
Yeah, I used to work out to I used to get hyped when Jimmy Lennon Jr. used to announce like Mike Tyson or Trinidad. I used to drop down and do push-ups.
Damn.
So that kind of
souped you up.
And yeah, it kind of souped me up a little bit, brought it back.
Word. CYP, California.
What up? What up?
What up?
Listen, man, I got a new name for Mario. It's gonna be called Midget Mariachi Mario, aka M3, because all he do is dance around the topic.
Yep.
He a midget, and he think he more entertaining than he really is. Lastly, because I ain't got that much time now, Mario, don't call a black man who's older than you mijo. He ain't your son. Real talk. If you don't want them issues in real life, stop taking shit personal. You don't call men who are older than you mijo. I got Mexican in my family. We know what that means. Don't do that, dog. Because you see them cats in person, you ain't gonna do that. You can't stand up to a civilian in border wars. You damn sure can't stand up to Wilder or his camp. Yo, I'm out of here.
Yo, and I said that. I said, man, you looking to get
Hey,
jabbed by
listen.
Wilder calling him son.
Look,
I said that shit.
Look. Ain't nobody. I know enough about that man to know that
he ain't gonna take it personal.
He ain't taking no. Yeah, like
Nah,
that.
I don't think so, because he was super. I remember that day, even though he made that video, like he was still super playful and jokeful when he made that video about you. So.
Yeah, like I look, he's been on plenty of times. Go back and check. Like,
but
he doesn't
CYP
like
do got a
me.
point.
He never liked what I had to say, but he's a good dude. He knows I respect him. Regardless, he knows that.
But CYP do got a point. You never said mijo. He might come for the jugular now. We got Rue in the 504. What's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. What's happening?
How are you, brother?
If we can make undisputed, just make it. That's all I have to say on that. But we don't have emeritus status for rankings. When you lose, we move on. We can't just say, well, this is AJ. He got all the belts back. He got revenge against a French contender while Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder. There's no comparison right there. Fury is the number one guy without question. If AJ wants to be number one again, he has to earn that back. We're not holding his spot. He's just a boxer at the end of the day. But that's my
I like
point.
that, holding his spot.
Preach, man. This is what I'm saying. You know, that's why it's better to have callers. Maybe I'm not, I can't articulate myself well enough, because I felt like I was banging my head against a wall trying to explain this to Mario, but you guys got it. Yeah,
it's going back and forth.
No. CYP told Mario he's wrong. Rue just said Mario was wrong. Yeah, I don't hear anybody say Mario.
That's how we're
right.
counting now.
I mean,
Did you go to
calls.
Bond Boxing?
No, I haven't. Bond,
Okay.
talk to us.
I didn't-
Arizona. Bond Boxing, you there? You there, champ? Nah, he working. We be back. Ohio runs boxing.
What's good, guys? Good interview with Thomas Mattice, man. Ness, man. Y'all keep killing Diaz, man. You can't discredit Diaz because he didn't do good after Crawford beat him, man. Look, Diaz was, I think, he won 2 gold medals, and Sammy Vargas fight, he almost got robbed in that fight. Lamar Peterson was a straight robbery. But you can't just discredit a win from Crawford because the other fighter ain't doing good. That's like saying my baby mom, she weighed 300 pounds now, but when she was at the top of the game, I had her. So now you're going to discredit her because she gained some weight?
Hell
beautiful.
yeah.
Come on,
Hell
bro.
yeah.
That metaphor.
Hell
Come
yeah.
on, bro.
Hell yeah.
That's
Nah.
on her.
You should have never made
on
that
her.
metaphor. You should have never did that metaphor.
No, that's a great metaphor.
That's a bad metaphor, because let me tell you, bruh, your baby mom, probably everybody wanted some of that, and then she got fat. So no, sir. No, sir. She like AJ. She dropped from the rankings. Fuck that. Bruh, listen. Now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. This dude's out there that like, big girls. So some big girls.
No, I didn't think it like that at all.
Some big girls, look good to them and whatever. But like, if your girl was a video vixen, then she's a big girl. Like, we can't act like her ranking ain't
Just
dropped.
work in the parameters of his metaphor. You know what I'm saying? That his metaphor is making a point, and you just shared that point.
Yeah, man. So let's go out to
Takes me around here.
King Born. Talk to me.
Mario, what's going on, guys? I like what Cass is saying. Let's get to the point, man. We know that Fury is number one, Wilder's 1A, and we know that AJ a bitch. He ain't fight nobody, so we gotta cut that out. Man. Let's get undisputed. Let's get this thing cracking. And I'm telling you right now, and it's the topic that I'm starting. If he want that buyout, if he want that step aside money, 50 M's. Straight up, 50 mil. You give Wilder 50 mil and let him get nice, let him get his mind back, let him get his body right, get his timing back and all that.
That's too
Give that
much.
man 50 mil.
That's too much, bro.
Nah, no, it's not. He got 30 mil the last fight, y'all. Come on. You know that.
Yeah, for fighting,
Come
bro.
on. 50 mil. Like 40 mil. 40 mil. 40 mil. 40 mil, y'all.
I love it.
40 mil. Because you can't give him 20.
Yo, bruh. Yo, I love you heard the last one? Give him 40 mil.
Yo, listen, 40 mil
to
so
not
that he
work.
can come back and fight the number one fighter in the world, solidified. Like, that's crazy.
And get more than 40.
I love it, though. I love it. Yo, he should ask for 50. Fuck
no. That's unrealistic,
I think
man.
That's the whole point of it. I think if he's look, we all know he's not going to take the step aside money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people got to understand what I'm saying. I'm trying to work within the okay. And look, you might know something.
No, it ain't that I know anything. I'm just saying he already said he'll never change his team, and now he's entertaining conversations with George. Okay. So we don't know, man. Let people evolve. Let people evolve.
You're right.
If evolution is in line for Wilder, and maybe that evolution is step aside money so he could work with George, you know,
look,
or whoever.
Better than I do. So I would say, like, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see him doing it. Not that I think it's a bitch move at all. Not at all.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes it is when people do it, but not in this case. This isn't a bitch move. But I still don't even think Wilder would entertain the idea of perhaps making the appearance of a bitch move happen. You know what I'm saying? So to me, this is when I'm talking in hypotheticals. That's what people got to understand. Like, in reality, I know damn well this man ain't taking the fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm talking to him on air, I'm talking to him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to just get a point across, like, as, you know, in any way I can. But I really don't think he's going to take it. So why not ask for 50 mil? If he knows he ain't going to take it either way, you know what I mean? And then, you know, just.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. Throw a number out there, see what sticks on the wall. But
exactly.
I just think 50 is just, you know, that's just ridiculous. It's unrealistic. You can't.
It's almost double what he made to fight.
No, it is double. He got 25 guaranteed. Like, how you going to get 50 guaranteed to sit on your ass and watch the fight from your TV? No, sir. No, sir.
And ringside.
I can't tell you where to be at, right? I can't even say 12.5. I can't say half. Like, I still think half. Like, think about that. Imagine they told you, yo, you could come into work you don't got to come into work today, and we're just going to give you half of your fucking salary.
But where does the money come from?
No, step aside money is going to come from the promoters. The two promoters.
No, but where does the promoter say, I'm going to make this if I had this fight?
Well, they're gonna make it back on the
investment.
pay-per-views is what they hope, but we gotta understand we in a different time now. If Wilder Fury with two fucking big things only did 850, it's just, I don't know.
So if it's 850, they looking at something like 850 or a mil to touch. You know, but 50 mil that could go in promos.
Yeah, it would be tough to come up with that kind of money, I think, in reality. But I mean, the fight's worth a lot. Everybody knows that the fight is absolutely worth a lot. And so, I mean, Corona would give all their, you know, shitty contaminated water in Mexico to make this. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that they could recoup it. I don't know. Actually,
how do they?
Never mind. That's a lot. Shit. That's a lot.
The only way. Listen.
Thinking what could.
You don't recoup it. You get an investor or not an investor, but a sponsor, right? And that's Saudi Arabia. That's Saudi Arabia.
That's what I'm saying. Corona would kill to have it. I mean, people would kill to have it. So yeah, you're right. But 50 million still, just to chunk at somebody to fight next time, like,
no,
that's a
50
lot.
50 is absurd. It's absurd, but But
what's real? 10, 5.
Yeah, that's still a lot.
Listen,
that would be unheard of.
Broner got
Unheard
1.5. Broner got 1.5 to step aside and let Maidana fight Mayweather. Mayweather Broner did like what? 1 what? Like 1 million? How many pay-per-views they sold?
1.1. I think it was 1.1.
But you see, Mayweather was a better businessman. It was a different time. Social media wasn't as prevalent as it is now, so we weren't privy to Mayweather's business dealings. But Mayweather was paying dudes peanuts. He gave Maidana like 1.5 million up front, and then 1.5 million for not wearing the gloves, plus a little bit of back end. So nobody was getting these deals like yo, Guerrero got like 2 mil to fight Mayweather. Like yo, AJ Wilder, Fury, they blessing dudes out here. Canelo,
see what it's worth.
Canelo blessing. Yo, when Derevchenko get off of 5.5 and Maidana made 1.5, like something's wrong. Mayweather wasn't playing.
It's looking at the number and it's admitting that what it's worth to step aside might not align with what's possible to give. You know what I'm saying? So like what's realistic? That's what I'm saying. I don't think Wilder takes it because I don't think there is a realistic number. Do I think that there's a number out there he would take to step aside? Absolutely. But they're not going to ever get to that number. I don't think.
I think the gain over just fighting is bigger than the step aside money, and the pride is also in the fight. Some people are pride. Pride is one of the seven deadly sins, man, because it's not good or bad, but it'll harm you, or it could.
Well,
Alexa in my crib.
You got a homeschooling teacher over there. Let me get back to these callers, man.
You didn't know Enrique got a robot.
Yeah, it sounded like. Let me get to these callers. JT, talk to me.
Yeah, Ness. You came to me already, but
No, I know. I thought you talked to your brother because your brother was under the impression I cut you in half. But I knew I heard you say you ain't had nothing to say, that you was just waking up.
Yeah, I do got something to say. I just heard about this Charlo versus Canelo 2020 done deal. You heard anything about that?
Where you got that from? Because I just text somebody in Golden Boy. They said that shit is bogus.
Okay, well, this video was a day old from another YouTube channel.
I don't know. I mean, from what I'm told, ain't no deals going on right now, and they put parentheses Rona. They ain't even waste time saying the whole Corona. They said Rona, baby.
Okay, yeah, Trey, I got you already texting that. So you want your calls, but that's all I got. I don't got nothing else.
All right, Trey, talk to us in the Bay.
Man, you fucking up, Bless. You skipped me today. You skipped my boomerang.
No, you text me and said give it to JT. What you thought I ain't read that?
No, I ain't text you and tell you to give it to JT today. That must have been from a couple days ago. Yeah, you got. That's from a couple days ago, man. You got to scroll down. I ain't. Anyway, Mario. They got this word called keep that same energy. When next time, let's interview Deontay Wilder. Next time y'all down there in that camp and all that, I want you to say that same ass speech in his face, just like that. And don't forget to call him son. All right?
Well, he gonna have to say that in Spanish.
Do that to me, Mario.
He gotta do it in Spanish.
No, hey, he know what that means. He know what it means. Go ahead, say it exactly. I want him to say it word for word. Same energy. Don't change your tone. I want you to say that whole little speech. All right? Write it down. Say the whole little speech, Mario, and Wilder face. I want you to say it in his face. All right?
I got you. Listen, you know what's getting lost in translation is that mijo is a term of endearment. Like people probably Googling, looking up the translation and just think it means son. Like, listen, son, like it ain't like that. Mijo's like baby, like.
Damn, so
like
he your baby now?
I don't know, because
he your baby
like,
now?
Not like your old neighbor might call you mijo.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Or your grandparents, call you mijo.
Yeah, your grandparents. Maybe your uncle.
Yeah, but
your
it has
dad.
like, but it's not like a son thing. Like when I hear them saying son, like that's the translation to me in English. Son means something to like you son somebody or like you know what I'm saying. Like to me, I don't know. And like I'm not trying to get away from it. I said it the way I said it. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to get out of it. I'm just saying that there's a breakdown between what people are thinking it means, I think, and then what it actually means in you know, my culture at least. I mean, y'all are Spanish too, so obviously y'all have an understanding. But where I'm from in South Texas, like it's not like a. I mean, I meant it like in a kind of like disrespectful way, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is that it's not like
you done.
It's not like a boy, like you know, it's not like hey boy, like it's not like that.
If you put it in context, no one can call you mijo that's younger than you or your peers as like a dad says mijo in a daring way. Mijo, don't step on the lawn. Mijo, don't cross the street like that. Mijo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I'm older than Wilder though. First of all,
come here, mijo. Come
There's
here, mijo.
no way you're older
Your
than
dad
Wilder.
could say
Wilder's-
that. Imagine you saying Wilder's mijo.
34.
No. I feel you. No. Again, I'm not trying to get out of what I said or how
You
I
are.
said it. I
You are.
understand.
You are
no,
by
I'm not.
saying
I'm
you're
just
older than
trying to
Wilder.
I'm just trying to explain the difference between, like, I don't know. Maybe I understand son to mean something different than everybody else. But to me, son is like, it's like son and boy. Like to me, those are said
Yo,
in
you
like
going to
disrespectful
camp? You
terms.
going
That's like
to
an
camp?
old school cop. Like
Are
like an
you
old racist
going
ass
to?
cop.
Are you going to the camp? Are you going to the camp?
Yeah.
Well,
Yo,
really,
as long
when
as you
somebody
don't
calls
Charlie
you
Z me,
son,
I'm
Yo,
good and shit.
hey, Enrique,
But it's
you
like-
been there. Enrique been there. You, Mike been there. Matt been there. Doomy been there. Are you going to the camp?
No, she asked me to say it to him, so nah, I ain't gonna say it to him though. Y'all think I'm fucking crazy? Like what is this? Like it I don't know. That would, to me, like if I were to say that to him, that would be like me provoking a fight. Like me saying it here, like this is entertainment. This is us. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference.
if I was right
Bro,
now,
you
said,
not-
look,
okay,
mijo.
you know what?
Yo,
Y'all are just
no,
y'all trying
I'm
to play
laughing
me
at-
out,
I'm
bro.
laughing
y'all want
at-
me to get into a squad. Oh,
no,
my bad,
I'm
go.
laughing at CYP. He texts like Mariachi Mario. I like the ring of that, yo, Mariachi Mario.
Yo, that was my refrigerator that spoke to me, actually.
You got that new fridge over there.
It was like, I don't understand what you're saying.
You got that silicone.
It was about Wilder Fury. Like programming based off of all this conversation. But yeah, mijo, you can't say that, mijo.
Yeah, man.
That's.
I mean, look,
and when
I
each
said
other son. They talking about like the sun's on the
yeah.
sky.
See, we all from the same place. You know, Mario. You know, Corpus is 8 fucking hours away. Do y'all even got an inner city in Corpus?
No.
So that's what I'm saying. So the culture's not there. Remember when you said it live, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wow, they're gonna jab your ass because I'm from the inner city. So for me, that's like, yo, you know, like Nas had to be specific. He's like, I call you son because you shine like one. That's different. But like, you saying son, you sonning it. Oh, he your son? You my pappy? You my father? You my father? Let's fight.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Is that's not what it is to me at all.
Exactly,
and
but that's
where I'm
because
from,
that's
can
because
add
you a
Supermax.
different
like
culture.
to me, it's like, hey, baby boy, let me talk to you, baby boy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
like,
how
which
you
is
gonna
still
call
disrespectful.
Oh shit, you
but
gonna
it's a
call
totally
Wilder
different
baby
thing.
boy? You gonna call Wilder
Mario,
baby
you
boy?
made a
So now you
mistake.
licking his head? Now you licking his head?
I will call him whatever I gotta call him to if he just don't take this fight.
Hey,
Whatever
yo,
you want. If you want me to call him
Enrique.
king, if you want me to call him the best ever, I'll call him and refer to him as whatever he wants me to refer to him. If he don't take this fight.
Remember that part in Baby Boy when Ving Rhames put him in a chokehold and just licked
Oh,
his head? Now Mario want to call him Baby Boy. Now you calling him Baby Boy? Yo, you disrespectful. You better stop, man. I ain't gonna
think
be able to
you
hold
making
him
a
back.
mistake.
I ain't gonna be able to hold him back.
Don't try to correct it. Just be like, yo, I stand corrected. I said the wrong thing.
They said Mario digging his grave now, yo. Wilder gonna run down on Mario like to this day. Yo.
Fury gonna be like, if you know the words, sing along.
Yo, Bond Boxing, talk to me.
Yeah, that's good.
Bond
Yo, what's up? What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man? How's
What up? How you
Arizona,
doing?
man?
Can you hear me?
How's the weather out there? Is it hot? It's always hot, or is it cool now?
It's gonna be like 88 today, so it's kind of warm, but
Kind of warm. You call
yeah,
that kind of
it
warm?
ain't bad.
88 is kind of warm for him. That's like hot for us over here.
Man, that's our spring, man. 90, 95. It don't get hot until it gets about 110. That's how we do it out here, brother. But no, I've been gone for a minute. I'm back. I had to update my payment information. I'm a ringer now. I couldn't do the boomerang. I just donated half of my last paycheck to the Washington School District out here to help feed these homeless kids, man, because this epidemic ain't no joke. I just want to say to everybody out there, be safe. Keep your asses at home. Like, for real, this ain't no joke. I'm out here scrubbing this shit every day. There's sick people everywhere, man. I'm happy to be back, though, after I calm down a little bit, because I need a break from this shit. So I appreciate y'all.
Where do you work? What's the field? What industry are you in?
I'm in agriculture. I'm in agriculture and pest control. I do pesticides and I do virus scrubbing. So we're out here doing the damn thing.
Sure,
yeah, man. In New York City, they're predicting 100 to 240,000 more cases within the next 2 weeks. So that made me want to stay away alone. I'm 9 miles away from the epicenter. Actually, New Jersey is part of the epicenter. So just coming home from the grocery store, I'm paranoid. I'm taking all my clothes off. I'm jumping in the shower. You know, my jog is up and down the street. If I see somebody walking the dog, they go on the opposite side. It's serious out here now.
You seen that nurse who quit her job because they sent her to the coronavirus wing, and she like, bro, I got kids and I got a health condition. I ain't doing it.
Yeah,
she quit.
Hell yeah. I mean,
I
think
like
they
got a union. They're predicting 200,000 deaths by the end of April. So, April, May, June.
Bro, you know it's on Netflix.
It didn't even hit the West Coast yet.
You know, on Netflix, they got a fucking coronavirus movie. They actually using the word coronavirus. They're using the word coronavirus mutated, different strain coronavirus. It's more mutated. It's similar to the flu, but it's mutated. And they said it was man adjusted, not just made, right? Like the first strain wasn't as deadly. And this series is all Chinese with subtitles in English, so you could read the word coronavirus, you could read the word mutated. I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
I'm not watching that shit.
Yo, what's crazy is that there's more and more information about the word coronavirus, its existence. First the patent, then the patent for the vaccine. Now a fucking movie from China with Chinese actors in 2018.
Yeah, you gotta look at it.
Depicting coronavirus. I'm like, what the fuck?
Coronavirus always existed, right? So it's the COVID-19 is what the combat is against. Not
yes.
Well, it's the Corona version 2.
Go ahead.
But it's the COVID 2, but this is also the SARS virus. So it's a SARS virus and a coronavirus that's mixed together. So there was a lot of mutation done, and the reports from China are not accurate because we have more deaths out here in the United States than they do over there. But there's no way that's possible because that's where it started. And I wanted to tell all my cats on the West Coast, it's going to hit us hard in the next week or two, a month or two, because it ain't even hit us full force yet. So keep your asses inside, man, and do what you can for your community, outreach, to your schools, to your nurses, to the people around your communities. Just try to do everything you can to help out. And remember, if you want to be out there partying and shit, you're going to be responsible for killing somebody. Just remember that. But I got love for you guys, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna take my ass back to work, but I'm back.
Bomb boxing,
thank you, brother. Appreciate everything, man. Yeah, I just seen while we were on Wall Street Journal's reporting that some experts are saying that 1 in 3 people being tested are 1 in 3 people with the virus that are being tested are getting negative results. Like, that's crazy to go to a doctor to confirm you do or do not have it, and you can still walk away from that visit and have it. Like, yo, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
So let's see. Bitcoin is up though. That shit dropped crazy. is up a couple $100, so it looked like the market is getting a little grasp on things again. And not only that, hopefully when the stimulus package goes out, you know, that helps out the economy a little bit in terms of at least the market, you know, and things like that.
It might, because the stimulus includes a lot, man. It ain't just that $1,200 check, you know. It's like unemployment. It's a lot,
for
man.
Small business loans.
It's like grants that will be pardoned. You know, payroll businesses that could.
My bad, guys. Mario did do his 50 push-ups. I gotta send it to you. He sent me the video 2 days ago. Sid in Florida. He did send me the video 2 days ago, but
they on you, Mario.
He wanted me to edit out the front. He wanted me to edit out the front.
Yeah, that's why I sent it to you.
Because he farted and it came out on the video. But I haven't had time to edit out the front. But he did do the push-ups. I'll
my
text
bad. You know what? I'll just do it myself. I could just cut it from my phone.
Yeah, you could. And
I don't know why I didn't.
He said don't loop 5 to make it look like 50. Yo, looping the video, yo. Funny as hell. Yo, Nest GTO, Instagram and Twitter. We got there. Everybody, we be back 7 p.m. Eastern. It don't stop. You know, it's Thursdays. So usually predictions and preview day. Not much to preview and predict other than news and notes. So we're going to put together a show for you. We definitely got some guests lined up for this evening. As a pastime, right? We'll have on Jose Benavidez Sr., and David Benavidez, 2-time WBC champion. And we'll also have 2012 Olympian Terrell Gausha. Let me go out to J-Mac. Talk to me.
Yo, yeah. Hey, the new TBV stands for the Bud Voice. We changing them 3 initials up because you sit up here and talk about who bring it up, but you was on here for like 50 minutes. While the callers was on hold, while you two motherfuckers was just gurgitating back and forth, talking about the same shit. Mario his can't stand on his own 2 ass, always ducking and dodging, flipping, and making excuses for his weak ass arguments, and you just trying to get somebody to sit down and hear your weak ass arguments. We changed the topic. You talk about Bud more than we talk about Bud, especially on this show today. That's my call.
I mean, that's what's going to happen if you get that name brought up and forced upon you so much. That's normally what's going to happen. You're going to prepare yourself. You're going to sharpen your knife.
You having Bud nightmares and shit?
Nah.
Just night terrors
Bro.
of people yelling Bud at you?
Not even, because like it's the easiest debate to win. Numbers don't lie, man. Numbers don't lie.
I mean,
numbers don't lie. And you know who got the better numbers.
The real debate is the business of Bud versus the business of Spence.
There is no Bud business. That's why we're trying to get him the Broner fight.
The economy was high with Spence when he was on the market. Bud, he got an economy, but it's like, you know, it ain't really that high.
Dog, it's not even the economy, man. Whoever's driving the car, bro. Because, like, why are they even considering Kelbrook? Like, they're not helping him, man. They're not helping him. Someone over there is driving the vehicle blind. You know what I mean?
Yo, at Mario Munguia on Twitter, at Mario Munguia on Instagram. Check us out tonight.
7 p.m.
Peace. TBV_casual fan, Twitter and YouTube channel, www.boxingfanapparel.com/patreon.com. Holla at me.
Peace. That's GTO, Instagram and Twitter.